You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
They confuse us with so much life. Just come on. not even thinking that we would realize. And if we criticize, we could be ostracized. We don't know who to trust. That's why I say, Lord, please listen to this prayer that comes from before. Please send us another Moses again. Oh, we just can't go on this way. Please deliver us today. Time to make them oppress us stay. So we children could see their way. Make them get on their knees and pray. Then I'll be up to judgment day. Oh, just can't make it this way. Please deliver us today.
Trinidad is my land, and of it I am proud and glad. But I can't understand why some people just talk it bad. But I know all of them we running them out. Don't know where they're talking about. They would paint your black every day, and the right things they would never say. Like our sportsmen being rated among the best. Our scholars have sit and passed every test and put us right alongside the rest. But then our pitch lake is the greatest one of its kind. Our sugar and oil is ready refined. So you see, friends, this is a real thing, so no man's mind. They just talk some nonsense. Me ain't know where they're doing it for. About so much violence, man, you would swear that we fighting war. Of course, we have the delinquents to face, but just like any other place, look, things that I say about here is really too much for me to bear, because my people are daily making progress without any form of stupidness, and in this way we must gain success. For when we move in, we all move as one body, no bickering between you and me. For our policy stands for racial equality. Now when a stranger spending a little time in this lovely isle, every day you see him, he always have a heart to smile. When his time is up to depart, he would say with pride in heart, I'll be back, you could bet your life. And if I can't come, I will send my wife. And then he'll tell you he really wants her to come to drink some rum and have plenty fun in this great island in the sun. For Trinidadian, as foreigners do we call, it doesn't matter whether big or small, or if you're rich or poor, friends, we cater for one and all. So all of them we're talking, they either drunk or they staring mad, or maybe they forget it, Mr. Universe belongs to Trinidad. And yet we have men of talent and skill, with high hopes of improving still. And if you think all this is a lie, the mighty sniper won't tell you why. Now our steel band is the best talent in this world, like Calypso's or stories are told, with its rhythm to touch your soul. So Trinidad, this lovely land of my book, small but overwhelming in wood. And as you know, Carnival is the greatest frolic on earth.
Many rivers flow to this naked eye, bringing care and pain, but also a brand new style. As the river flows, there are those who will change its passage, but every common man got to understand up and send a message. And people put up your hand if you understand. Now come, see how we moving, watch how we grooving, see how guardian light.
Islands in the sun, islands in the fun. Welcome, welcome one and all to the land of death. Trini to the bone, they go to the bone. When it comes to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trini to the bone, they go to the bone. Sweet woman parade abundantly. The brethren, they full of energy. Some people say God is a Trini. Paradise are not convincingly. God gave us a spirit fiery. But nothing in the world will bother we. But look, a smart man gone with money. We still come out and smash up the party. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love up this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No.
Apple of thine eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wing. O Lord, my Savior. It's so hard to deal with personal struggle. So sad when you feel alone in your trouble. It's real hard when you want to talk to a brother. It's so bad because of how some look at you after. So Jesus, come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, come and be. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, come and be. Cover my head. Satan want me dead. Cover my back from human attack. So Jesus, come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be. People see you smile, but don't hold the hurt that you're feeling. Even as God's child, at times your heart does be bleeding. Where can you go when you're really looking for healing? Who know how to flow when your soul needs some restoring? So Jesus, come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be. Cover me home from evils unknown. Cover my feet so I'll never retreat. Oh Lord, come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be. Cover my brother, cover my sister, them who under pressure. Cover, 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 cover the preacher, every church worker, the young believer. Cover, 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 the worship leader and intercessor, every gospel minister. Cover, cover, cover. Jesus alone is the one who has the real answer. The one on the throne is the true and loving Father. He will hold your hand and keep you from going under. He will make you stand and let you know he's a fixer. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be. Cover my mind. You know the struggle sometimes. Cover my mouth, that the wrong thing wouldn't come out. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it, Jesus. Cover me. Cover the Christian in the midst of aggression with the power of your right hand. Jesus, cover, cover, cover them helpless children. Jesus, defend them. Send help from heaven. salvation, that blessing the nation, grant divine protection. Jesus, cover, 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 cover me, cover me, cover me.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners, of course, ladies and gentlemen. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Yes, that's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. And you know, we say it here in the village, ladies and gentlemen. We originate. We don't imitate. Doesn't matter what color t-shirt you have on. You have on a purple t-shirt. You have on a burgundy t-shirt. You have on a mauve t-shirt. Each and everyone is welcome in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Doesn't matter what planet you're from Mazatanians, Xenoranians, Venuranians, Sonaranians. Each and everyone is welcome in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And you know, we started off here in the village.
It have our place, WZYE, where they treat you like friends and family. So if you're looking for a place to belong, going WZYE, you could come along. If you have haste, do come with me. We do have DAT on WZYE, Santa Meditate.
Of course, that's the one and only Dr. Love in the village. No other than Dr. Love himself, Rennie Muhammad. Let me say a special welcome to no other than the commissioner in Newark, the one and only, the man from Sally Bay, by way of Marabella, all the way down to Palo Seco Government Secondary School, a man that attended school with a renowned journalist, Andy Johnson, no other than Thomas E. Marshall Nisbet, boy. Tommy, welcome.
Good evening, and happy independence to you and to everyone listening. Happy independence to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. Happy independence. Happy independence. Um, some people say it's not a happy independence for some people. You know,
Well,
some people saying, but I don't know, boy. I don't know.
you
I
know, I
don't know.
think you have to give thanks and be happy because you're here. If you weren't here, it wouldn't matter at all.
Correct is right. Correct is right. At least you're still here to celebrate independence.
That's right.
And I mean, independence is a splendiferous thing, regardless of what people may think. But we should give thanks for all the good things that have happened, to us. You know,
For
let
every
me
day,
quickly,
for every day, and twice on special days.
yeah. So let me quickly welcome people in the chat here before we get to our first guest at 7:30. Nadia, of course, Nadia is inside. Good night, Nadia. Good night, everyone. Blessings. Nadia says good night to Anselm. Good night to you, Nadia. Tommy, good night.
Night, Nadia.
Yeah, I think people outside celebrating. She said Diana Benskin, good night. Yeah, good night to Rennie Capiza, Ken, John Troy. Yeah, say good night to Takesha, Judy, Lana, Rose. She says happy independence. Day two, everyone in the village. Yeah, oh God, look, boy. Red, red, right, and black day by night. Yeah, but yeah, original, no, love in the house, boy. Yeah, me and Jean, good evening to you. And good evening to Curtis Montresor. Yeah. You know what? I want to do a quick something before we bring on. I want to call today's Brother B's birthday. Let me see if Brother B will pick up the phone. I want to give him a call. Let's surprise him to wish him a happy. He's a good person, Brother B. Listen. Go. Hold 1 minute. We calling Brother B to wish him a happy. So folks, we call him up. Brother B. I feel Brother B wife too. So he's doing it. Brother B, you are live on
Wall Street.
you are live on WZYE.
Hello.
You are live on WZYE 95.9 FM. We are calling to wish you a splendiferous, fantabulous, marvelous, tremendous, splentastic, spectacular happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Well, I appreciate that very much, Wall Street. And
Happy birthday, Brother B.
Happy birthday, brother.
we're in the middle of having dinner in Antigua.
Oh God! But where is this?
Papa.
It's also our anniversary on the 2nd of September. So
How much years is
the
that?
initial plan,
50 years?
yeah,
50 years? 50
the
years
initial
anniversary?
plan was to get married on my birthday 23 years ago.
Okay.
That was the initial. However, we got married on the 2nd day of September, 2 days after, in New Jersey.
Hey, in New Jersey?
Yeah, that's why I got married. The first backyard wedding that they ever had in that part of the West.
Well,
So,
Brother B, a lot
yeah.
of people globally know that today is your birthday because if you didn't hear me, you are live on air. Eh?
Oh, yeah, you did tell that. You did say that. I have no
Okay.
problem with being
But
on
we
air
know,
with you. Wall Street.
yeah, we know
Wall
you
Street,
are.
you've been on air with me for a many long time, for many years.
Yeah. And of course, I don't know if your friend Mean Gene called you and wish you happy birthday because he's in the chat too.
All right, so Mean Gene has been a friend. I don't know, but you see, I'm starting to lose trust. I say that openly because you see, when the enemy is plotting against you and they're using your friends to help you, you really have to feel betrayed. It's not in any way trying to damper it, but sometimes you have to let the enemy know that you're loyal to the friendship that you have built and they just came on board. So let no one put asunder, so to speak. You know what I mean?
I hear you, brother B. You know, man, we have met years, brother. We how long ago we met, boy?
But listen, me. But the thing is, and Aisha and me from those early days on radio. So that how many years ago? That years ago.
That years ago,
Yeah.
boy. That's in the embryonic stage, man. Embryonic stage of 91.9, boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, boy. Now I reach maturity. I looking to retire now. You know?
But
Yeah.
we want to wish you
Yeah.
a very happy birthday, man. Enjoy your birthday. We wish you many, many more. And you know, you're a friend of us here at WZYE. And we just wanted to call you and wish you a happy.
Well, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, and all the best to you and your station. Continue to do your good work. Diane Denskin has been a wonderful friend as well.
Yes.
And I just want to wish her a wonderful poet. And we in the literary world will know, you know, when people connect, it's for different reasons. And the first time I connected with her is when I got to know who she was in terms of a poet, a literary skill. And clearly, that is an asset to your fiction. Just in case she has never heard me say that before. She's saying that tonight, right? So, wonderful combination. And of course, when you're coming home, Wall Street.
Yeah.
I can't announce that publicly. I just flew in and fly out.
Well, Wall Street, you're safe in Tobago, Wall Street.
Yeah. I know I'm safe in Tobago.
All right. All right, so guys. Thank you again. Let me get back to my dinner.
Man. Okay, bless.
Good night.
Good night.
All right.
So let me say a special welcome to no other than the one and only one, the Onyx Wave, no other than Waveney, Benskin, Diana, McDonald, the Trinbagonian, the Bajan, the Trinidadian, from Tonapuna, by the way of St. Augustine Girls Government Secondary, with a parlor in front of the Tonapuna Theater, no other than the Onyx Wave, Benskin, McDonald, Diana, Waveney.
It ain't no St. Augustine's what government secondary. St. Augustine Girls High School. Get it right.
Oh, okay, all right. I mess up. St. Augustine.
And we have on board tonight listening, if not the entire members, the Trinidad and Tobago Association of the UK. But anyone that's listening, welcome and thank you for supporting.
Of the what?
Trinidad and Tobago Association of the United Kingdom.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Mean Jean, boy, I don't know, boy. Mean Jean, I don't know, partner.
What trouble Mean Jean calling now?
But no, I gotta talk to him privately, but something just happened there. You wasn't listening, huh?
What happened? I don't know what happened.
You didn't hear what Brother B said?
Eh?
She didn't hear what Brother B said.
I guess she wasn't listening, man. You ain't listen?
Perhaps it wasn't really. Remind me what we said now. I was only here with one ear.
We gotta go back to the tape. We go back to the video. Let me say welcome to Judy. Bishram Sugdeo. Welcome. Bishram, where you joining us from?
Oh, that sounds like a new name.
Victoria, welcome.
There's more.
Happy Independence and give thanks for life. Mean Jean said he's on vacation. Well, Mean Jean, that's what we hear, you know. We call people on vacation and they pick up the phone.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
We didn't know he was on vacation.
Yeah. We didn't know, but he pick up the phone. That's how it is. In Trinidad, they have no happiness except for those March Street people. You never know when you'll get attacked, home invasion. Oh God. Let's stay. Carice, welcome. Hey, Mean Jean, we just said that you say hi. You ain't listen to what Brother B said, Mean Jean. Yeah? Happy Independence Day. Yeah, Carice, happy Independence Day.
I want to know what's so happy about it.
Yeah, well, we go get into that. Guys, is the chairman, the NCC chairman, Winston Gypsy Peters ready?
Winston.
You see him in the background, but we're just waiting to see if he's ready to join us. As soon as we see his picture, we will bring him in, join us here because they are here. All right. I think I see the chairman now. Let him fix the camera. You fixing the camera? You fixing the hat? Let him fix the glasses. Fix the glasses. You fixing his shirt? Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna give all your play-by-play. You fixing? All right. All right. He pulling up his long sleeve.
Oh Lord.
I giving all your a ball by ball play in the background. You know, it's like West Indies playing India, and up the ball is Chandra Singh into Tendulkar, and he hits it for 6. It's out of here. That's a 6. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Anselm, I think you better stick to your day work. Don't try to be no commentator.
Let's bring in no other than the NCC chairman, Winston Gypsy Peters. Mr. Peters, welcome to Indie Village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. It's your maiden village, your maiden visit to the village. We call ourselves the DAT Triplets. D is Diana. She's considered to be the Storm. I'm A and Selma Wall Street. And we have T, which is Stormy. So, Mr. Gypsy Peters, welcome. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, Wall Street, good evening.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for having me. And I see you giving the people false description of what I'm wearing, what I'm doing, and all of that. But that's okay. And I must agree that hold on to your day job. Your commentary is so off color. It's all right. We'll take somebody else who could commentate better on the cricket.
Watch now. Don't let me sing a extempore, you know.
No.
I tell you, this boy is going and doing all kind of things that he's not supposed to be doing. All kind. Listen, extempore, not figures, you know. Extempore, not figures. It's a little different.
How you doing, Mr. Peters?
I am doing fine. I am doing fine.
We met in Tobago. You remember me?
Yes, I remember who you are.
Okay.
And I remember Anselm too.
Oh, you remember Anselm too?
I remember everybody.
Okay.
So, to remember me is from way in the 70s.
Yes. Thanks for having me, my brother. Everything's okay,
No, man. So, you know, we hear that, you know, you are up here for Labor Day. So tell the people what brings you to Labor Day 2023.
Well, I have been involved in Labor Day since, God knows when. But what brings me here this time is that we are here and with a whole contingent from the National Carnival Commission of Trinidad and Tobago. You know that carnivals of this type originated in Trinidad and Tobago. And so we participate in basically the carnivals in the main cities where they're held, or countries. And New York is one of them. And Labor Day is a big one. So we are here to do some promotion on our own carnival back in Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, make a visit to the diaspora.
So listen, what do you think that a Trinidad carnival could learn from a Brooklyn carnival? Because the carnival up here is very, very different from a carnival in Trinidad and Tobago. What really could you guys learn?
As far as I am concerned, it's not that very different, but there are differences. And in life, anything that you attend, you can learn something from it. In this case, we are here to see what they're doing and look at what they're doing and see how they're doing it. And if there's anything, any takeaway that we have, we'll just do that and take it away. So far, we know that these types of carnival are a photocopy basically of what Trinidad Tobago and Tobago Carnival is like, but with some slight ingredients that makes it a little different. Because let's take for instance in Labor Day Carnival, you would find that you have a diverse kind of people. You have people from Haiti now taking part. It's not like in the 70s or even the 80s. Now you have Jamaican taking part, and all these places that are taking part are places that have introduced carnival over the years into their own space, you know. So there would be some kind of difference, but at the end of the day, in the main, it is a Trinidad and Tobago type carnival, and there's always things to learn. No matter what you do, you know, or what you're doing, you learn something from it. So we are here to do exactly that and to lend our own ingredients. You know, the one thing that differentiates Trinidad and Tobago Carnival from other carnivals around the world, even though it have been spawned from Trinidad, is that we have what is called now, it's called traditional carnival. But because that type of carnival started in Trinidad, the ingredients that we have in there, the traditional mass and all the other things like that, they are not found in other places because, of course, there's a cultural difference. and that cultural difference is what we bring to bear in this kind of atmosphere that we are operating in right now in the Labor Day Carnival.
You know, I was going to ask that question. I was going to ask, I think that the NCC can have a significant impact on the Labor Day Carnival because, you know, Trinidad is the mother of all carnivals.
Yes. Well, thank you.
No, Trinidad is nobody can talk. Trinidad is
I thought it was Brazil.
Much appreciated. Brazil is not.
Nah, Brazil is not carnival.
Brazil is not. Brazil is not. We have inculcated some of the Brazilian carnival, some of the aspects of Brazilian carnival into Trinidad and Tobago's carnival now. But our carnival is totally different. It's totally different. And Trinidad and Tobago Carnival is the only place in the world where carnival is played in every nook and cranny in the country on Carnival Day. And all the carnivals has a difference. All the portrayals that you're doing. If you go to Sangre Grande, you will find a different type of mask than if you go to San Fernando. If you go to Port of Spain, well, Port of Spain is the Mecca. That's where it culminates. But when you go into all the parts, if you go to Miaro, it's different to Rio Claro. Rio Claro is different to Point Fontaine. And so, but on Carnival Day in Trinidad and Tobago, I should say on Carnival Days, because we have 2 days of Carnival. As a matter of fact, we have 2 days of the culmination of Carnival. But in reality, Trinidad and Tobago has what is just about 2 months or 3 months of Carnival because the activities of Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago have already started. We have band launches that people don't have any other place unless they emulate it from us now. But we have band launches. We have preview of the mask costumes that are going to be, you know, portrayed on the culmination, which is Carnival Monday and Tuesday, which, by the way, will be the 12th and 13th of February next year. And so Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago have a lot of differences.
But can I call you Gypsy?
It would be most appreciated.
Okay, thank you, Gypsy. I have a question and I have a concern.
Yes.
How do we recapture the splendor of Carnival rather than and get rid of the nakedness?
My dear, life is about evolution. There was a time when the whales that we see today in the sea used to crawl on land. Do you know that? And
no, I ain't that old. If you will, I ain't that old.
Neither of us is not that old, but the world is older than all of us. And the things of the world and the things that happen in the world, we have to. And our carnival is no different. As we go along in life, the only thing that is consistent is change. And it will change. Whether you like it or not, sometimes it changes for the better and sometimes it changes for the worse. And even that is subjective because sometimes what we think is the worst is what some people consider to be the best. And we have to always remember that every generation shaped their world to suit themselves.
So aren't you concerned, Gypsy, that half a decade from now, women gonna be walking naked in the street and the men?
Well, my dear, the thing about it is that half a decade from now, the people who are in the world might very well want to see women walk in the world like that. I could tell you that in a half a decade from now, I wouldn't be around, but I like what I'm seeing now, and I could only live in the now. I can prepare for the future, but your best plan for anything can go awry. I am saying to you that I don't know what the people of the next 50 or 60 years would want in the world. I don't think that my great-grandparents ever see somebody in a bikini on the street. What they saw, I don't even think they ever saw them with that on the beach. But the thing about it is that this is where we are right this minute. This is what we have to live with. And you know, they always say that if the world gives you lime, then instead of complaining, make lime juice and sell it and make some money out of it and do what you have to do. So we would do our best. And that's the reason why we say in Trinidad and Tobago, we are unique because we have traditional masks that we hold on to that the rest of the world don't have. And the rest of the world can't take that away from us. Because again, the antecedents of all these things is what drives our carnival. And that's what makes our carnival the best carnival in the universe.
You know, I just wanted to add to what you said, right? Because I remember back in the days we had a rotary phone.
Remember that? I'm old enough to remember that.
Yeah, we remember it. We had to put our hand in the number and turn it around, let it come back, turn it around again.
As a matter of fact, I was looking at the internet the other day, and as you speak about rotary phone, I was looking at a lady who slapped her daughter because her daughter, she had a rotary phone trying to show her daughter what this is, her daughter, and she asked, the daughter asked her mother, "Mommy, what is this?" And she said, "A phone." So the daughter asked her mother, "Well, how do I get on Facebook with it?" You know, and you know, so because what, and these things might sound like, you know, like it might sound preposterous, it might sound like, you know, humor and all of that, but at the end of the day, it's the reality of where we live.
Yeah.
So that's why we are here with our traditional mass, to imbue it into your contemporary carnival that we are having, and that's our job as the National Carnival Commission, to be one step ahead of everything. So we are going to ensure that your carnival is imbued with the traditions of carnival from where it came, from where it came.
And are you guys not concerned in the international news? We keep hearing there are different variants evolving. You know, the C19. Aren't you concerned about, you know, these different variants, and things could get out of hand if you don't control it? Are you going to have those cow pens again?
My dear, let me tell you something. It was not a cow pen, really.
But that's what they labeled it, the people, not me.
People, you know, people can label it whatever they want, but I'm telling you that there were pods, and there were things, and there was those were measures that were taken to ensure the safety of our people, and to ensure that we can have carnival in a safe environment. And at the time, it's the best that we could have done to ensure that is happening, that has happened safely, and it did happen safely. And if need be, and we have to do that again, or we have to do something else, then that something else would be done. But to go back to your question, are we not concerned? As human beings, we are always concerned with danger wherever it exists. But it doesn't mean that because there's danger in the world, we are not going to live, and we are not going to do the things that we have to do. Take, for instance, right now, Russia and Ukraine is at it in Ukraine, right? Are you not afraid that Russia would use a nuclear weapon? The short answer is yes. But are we taking measures to ensure that they don't use it? And if it does, if they do use it, we are going to do whatever it takes. America and the rest of the right thinking world would do something to ensure that the whole world is not put in danger. Yes, we would. Well, it's the same thing. So we are going to ensure that we do the best that we can to ensure that whatever necessary precautions that we have to take, if these untoward thing arises, we are going to deal with it as best as we can.
Now, I wanted to ask, did you guys bring up any sort of mass or any sort of mokojambis or anything up here to bring up here in order to participate in the Labor Day Carnival?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have characters here. Like I said before, we are going to imbue your carnival with some of the traditional mass in Trinidad and Tobago that you won't find anywhere else in any other carnival, because their history is not the same. Carnival to us is entertainment. Carnival to us is economics. Carnival to us is also historical. And there are aspects of our carnival that are very historical. And of course, that's why we are here, to ensure that our traditional carnival lives on, and we do the things that we have to do to ensure that it is done right.
So here is a question from our chat, right? We have a very vibrant chat, you know. We just ask the question.
I love that.
We don't tell them to post no questions. We just tell them, they pose the questions and we ask our guests.
Let them ask.
So here is a question.
Yes.
Winston Gypsy Peters, when will Steel Band come back on the road Carnival Monday and Tuesday?
Well, we have a steel band organization in Trinidad and Tobago called Pan Trinbago, and decisions for the steel pan fraternity is made through and by that organization. And whatever they decide to do, the National Carnival Commission, we are facilitators, and we are willing to facilitate it. I, like your good self and whoever asked that question, I am willing to see Pan on the road, because I grew up with Pan on the road. I would like to see it. But again, like I said, the evolution of the steel pan, it's in a good way now, because you see what is happening with the steel pan. It's being recognized. Gone are the days when no steel pan man or dogs allowed, no steel pan or calypsonians Now it is recognized. We have a day of recognition by the United Nations for the steel pan. So it's going places and it's doing whatever, and it's all driven by Pan Trinbago. So Pan Trinbago is going to do whatever they want. They're going to bring it to us, and we are going to do the implementation of whatever that is that we have to do.
I have to say congratulations to the lady from Tobago. I'm calling her the lady from Tobago.
Yes. Beverly, her name is Beverly Ramsey Moore.
Yes.
She's
Beverly
doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. Well, I will improve it a little bit and say fantabulous because
that's great.
This past
There go that word again.
Whatever superlative you want to use, we'll take that. We'll take that as long as it's good.
I could extempo some big words, you know.
Well, you can do that. I'm fine. That's good.
You sure?
I'm happy. I'm looking for some competition for the longest while. Go ahead.
All right.
Oh!
Before we finish, I go extempo some big words, but
no problem.
Yeah. Steel
You
band.
better drop my extempo on him, Ansler.
Yeah, we see steel band on the avenue. We see steel band all parts of that, and I think this is the first time in a long time that we have seen steel band almost every day somewhere in Port of Spain and in the country. And I believe that's a really fantastic thing.
I think so too. And because the governance of the steel pan body has changed, and so the ideas that comes with that change is now put into place, and it is taking its effect. And the effect is a positive one, and we are happy about it.
So here's the next question from the chat. As I tell you, I am just asking the questions.
Ask me anything you want. If I can answer it, I will.
What is your views on your so-called party cutting Calypso funding while the Yellow Party been funding Calypso tents well?
In the first place, I don't have a so-called party. I don't know what party is that they're talking about, but whomever that is, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, which is led by the party, the People's National Movement. It is a positive government, and it is a government that has been making all the necessary move to ensure that the steel pan, the Calypso, and whatever else goes into Carnival is done within the confines of the economics of Trinidad and Tobago. And so whatever has to be done is done with those finances. And whomever saying that, I mean, if somebody may have spent more money before, but people can only spend more money if you have more money. If you don't have more money, you can't spend more money. You operate within the confines of your economics.
But I really wasn't going to ask this question, but since that person put forward that question, doesn't it, well, to many other people, it seemed like if Calypsonians are not singing social commentary on the government like they sing on the government previously. I said it seems that it appears that Calypsonians who used to sing cutting social commentary are not really singing that type of social commentary anymore over the past 8 years or so.
Well, maybe the circumstances that brought them about to sing about those type of commentary that you're talking about doesn't exist right now. And they don't want to be imaginary. They want it to be factual. So if it is not factual and the facts doesn't exist, then they just don't want to do it. What I could admonish whomever asking that question is that if they are looking at something in a certain way and they believe that it is something that needs to be sung about, then they can go ahead and write about it and get a Calypsonian to sing it, or they themselves could try singing. And that might bring whatever they want to say to life and to the fore.
Now, here's a question from me now, right? And we're going to get to Trinidad Carnival. Now, you as NCC chairman, right? Should it be that, I know this is your art, should it be that you recuse yourself from singing the Calypso Monarch semi-final in order to go to the final because your organization, the NCC, as you chairman, is partially in charge of the judges, and you could correct me if I'm incorrect, the judges who are selected for those competitions?
Okay, so can I ask you something? Let me ask you a question to answer your question, right? You are an economist. You are a broadcaster, right? If it is that you go somewhere and there's something that you have to do that has to do with broadcasting that you've been doing all the time, do you believe that because it is something that you are affiliated with that has to do with that broadcast, you shouldn't take part in it?
Well, if I am the president of an organization that has something to do with it, I may have to look at it. If I'm the president, but if I'm just a regular person, then I'll be able to
Well,
do
you
it.
can't be a regular person if you associated it. But to answer your question, I have looked at it just as you say that you would, and because I have looked at it in depth, and I have seen that there is no conflict of interest in me at all. I have nothing to do with the judging, quite apart from which I have been hired to do the NCC's job as an active Calypsonian. Everybody in the world, Trinidad and Tobago, no less, know that that's what I do. That's what I do for a living. That's what I have been doing for the last 64, 65 years. And I have no intention of stopping now. And to answer your short question is that, with that long answer that I'm giving you, is that no, I will not recuse myself.
Gypsy, I have a question.
Wait 1 minute. Wait a minute, Dan. Dan, 1 minute. Well, you give me a short answer with a long sentence.
Oh, I guess, or a long answer with a short sentence, whichever one.
All right, go ahead, Diana. Go ahead.
Was something I'd like to see.
Yes, there.
And I don't know if it exists or if it ever existed. Where you have the schools competing with one another for carnival, bringing out a band, bringing, some theme. Does this, instead of children's carnival where, the kiddies make the schools or from different districts compete with each other. Is this something that exists or is it feasible?
I'm not quite sure if I understand your question. Are you telling me that the schools have their own competition, and is it affecting the kiddies carnival?
No. I'm asking if such a thing exists, like Tranquility, like the schools in the north compete with schools in the south, with the central, and they bring out their own bands just to incorporate the children, more in the carnival festivity.
Well, I don't know if they compete against themselves. I couldn't say that they compete against themselves, but I do know that lots of schools in Trinidad and Tobago have their own carnival activities, and I think their culmination is in the children's carnival on that carnival Saturday when they have their parade, because bands come from all over the country, all over Trinidad and Tobago, from Cedros to Toco. You have school competing in the children's carnival or participating in the children's carnival in whichever band they come in, however the bands come about, whether they are bands from the school or whether they are bands that have been put together by individual outside of the school. But the fact remains is that they culminate on Carnival Saturday, and they do have a wonderful time. I think that the children's carnival are so much appreciated by the children, even more than the grown people, because children have no inhibition at all, and they just come out to enjoy themselves, play their mass, and participate in their cultural activity. And that is, I think that that's a good and healthy thing, and that's what we see. So I'm not sure if they compete in the sense that you are asking, but they do have their parade, the children carnival parade on Carnival Saturday, which the schools and participate in, as well as, I say before, private people putting mass together.
I personally would love to see like presentation going against QRC, going against St. Augustine girls, going against St. Francois girls, that sort of a rivalry, and bringing a certain theme to the,
I believe that creates animosity, really.
Really?
And, what I think is happening is that let them put it together the way that they do, and let them participate in the children's carnival, and so they do a collective thing instead of individual schools going up against each other and that kind of thing. I am very aware of what those type of competitions can cause.
Oh boy!
I participated in it in a different.
I was trying to do breed camaraderie, but you say it will cause
competition. Breeds camaraderie as well as it breeds, because once people are competing for something, there is an intensity in that creates other, other feelings of this one cheat the other one, and when that happens, and the other one should have do this and I should have do this. You understand what I'm saying? And if that is done on a scene individual basis, then it will more magnify and create more problem as far as
we have it in sports, so I don't know. Okay, all right, that was just a question.
Yeah.
Mr. Gypsy,
Yeah.
we here in the diaspora look at things from a global perspective, right? And
We are happy you
we
do. I want you
understand-
to get carnival all over the world for us.
Yeah. I mean, we have people all parts of the world, people in Africa, all parts
Yeah.
of the world, and we think there could be a carnival tourism, whereas that it can create jobs for especially for people who are playing the steel pan, all across the world, because that is one of the biggest inventions that ever happened in the world, I would say. As far as taking a steam drum and making a steel pan. But my question is this, right? I know that Pan Trinbago is in charge of steel pan, but looking at things from a global perspective, why haven't we had a world panorama, just like we have world championships, right? We have, a champion band coming from Trinidad and Tobago, a champion band coming from Germany, a champion band coming from Holland, a champion band coming from United States of America, and have a world championship panorama where we could call a steel band from a certain country the world steel band champion. Has
Well,
that
that
been ever?
country, we had that. We did have that. That's what you're talking about. That was something that was had in Trinidad already. But I want to say to you, right, that let us be brutally frank and let us be honest with ourselves, right? I understand your aspiration and I share those aspirations as well. But the thing about the practicality of those aspirations is the dominance of the steel pan in Trinidad and Tobago. So I am saying to you, which country in the world has at this point in time steel pans or steel bands that has the capability of the steel bands in Trinidad and Tobago to compete against them in that way? I want to say
Winston, Mr. Winston, go ahead.
I want to say to you that the steel pan is being played in basically every major country in the world has steel pan. So it is spreading all over the world. I mean, I could say this is the 80s I'm talking about, and the only time I've sung with a steel pan in my life is in Japan. I've never even sung with a steel pan in Trinidad. And I have sung with a steel pan in Japan. I have been to Africa, there's steel pan in Africa. I've been to Canada, there's steel pan in Canada. Well, Brooklyn is the home of steel pan, just like Trinidad and Tobago. But I'm saying to you that when it comes to competition, with the bands that are out there, let us be brutally frank, they cannot compete with the bands in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and
so listen.
Is not the other. I don't know if it's the fertility of the soil that we have there that create pan players that makes it so different, or because we are the people who created it, we have a different skill set. Because basically all the bands that we have here in Brooklyn, right? These bands are populated with Trinidadians. The bands in England are populated with Trinidadians. The bands in Canada are populated with Trinidadians. We do have other people from everywhere that are coming up now and playing pan, but they are not yet up to the standard where we can have them compete against the bands in Trinidad and Tobago. It's just as simple as that. Even in Trinidad and Tobago, we have just about 5, 6, or 10 steel pan that dominates the steel pan thing. They dominate the fraternity down there. Not even the bands there who are better than the bands here can compete with them.
So I want you to hold that thought right there, and I want to challenge you when we come back on that, because I think that we want to look at that from a little global perspective. So stick and stay. We're going to go for a quick station identification.
Not a problem,
we
my
have
friend.
with us tonight the NCC chairman, Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters. He has joined us. They have a contingent here that's visiting the Labor Day Carnival. So stick and stay. We'll be right back after this short message. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We'll be right back after this short
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Oh, yes.
anybody help, come and put a hand. Come and wipe away the blight and see what the plight that befall the man of this land. What's going on here? I would like to know why the whole world is in a turmoil. So it look as if we fire God from the job and give you walk to the Beelzebub. Man, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. If you have to never like understand, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. No fool never like I understand like if Satan in control of running the land. Hey man.
That's no other than Winston Gypsy Peters. We are back with you. It's in the village. It's in the village of the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. You know that song could have a different connotation, right? Gypsy.
I don't know. I don't know. When I wrote it with one thing in mind. That the world is in such, and I'm saying it there, that the world is in such a turmoil now,
Okay.
that I believe that Satan is in control, and I still believe that today, even after all those years that I've written that song. And the thing about it is it's getting worse.
So did you write all of your songs?
Every single thing that I ever sang, I wrote it, yes.
Wow.
I'm a singer, songwriter, that's what I am.
Nobody never write anything for you. Nobody never write and give you something.
Well, people write and give me something. Not that I never wanted it. I never had any reason. I am one of the few people who could go on stage without a song and stay right there and make 4 or 5 of them if I choose.
That's your extempo ability.
I guess it is, but I can do it. I've done it before. I've went to the competition and won the competition without a whole song. And right there, when I sang Little Black Boy, it only had 2 verses. Yeah, I stayed on stage and make up the balance.
You just make it up.
More than one time I did that. More than one time. I did that and came second. I did that and came third. I did it and come fifth. I have a very uncanny ability.
I think you could win our next Calypso Crown.
Well, I'm alive. You think I'm alive?
That you didn't answer the question?
I do. I asked you if you think I'm alive. You didn't answer my question either.
I asked you about Calypso Crown.
I said, do you think I'm alive?
Oh, Anselm.
You know
Think
that
while you're ahead.
Yes.
Well, once you're alive, right?
Yeah.
You can do basically anything.
No, I agree with you.
And what I mean is that I'm alive and I'm still an active performer. So yes, I believe I can.
All right. So let me take you back to I mean, I know your view will be a little biased with respect to the steel pan men in Trinidad. But
my view, and listen, no. My views are not biased. I'm not a biased person. My views are objective.
You could be objectively biased.
Well, if you want to say that, then I will go along with what you say and I'll listen to you, but I am not.
All right. So listen to this, right?
Yeah.
We are the #1 export of people who play the steel pan, right?
Yes.
We export #1. You don't think that by exporting all these steel pan players across the world, that eventually, right, one of these countries will create a great enough steel band in order to beat us, beat our Renegades or our Phase 2 or our Desperados or our All-Stars?
And I want you to know that the operative word that you're using there is eventually. So out of your whole statement, the word that you're using that is very pertinent to what we are talking about now is eventually. But let me go ahead and tell you that as of now, as we sit here talking, no. But eventually it might happen.
But should that be a reason not to revive a world championship of steel band? That Trinidad is going to win because they have the best?
So that's it. And if that is obvious, right? Why are you doing it?
But listen,
are you going to wait a minute? Are you right?
Yeah.
Do you know who is the fastest runner in the world right now? Usain Bolt has retired.
Noah Lyles.
Noah Lyles. Are you going to put him to run with a racehorse?
Well, you never know. Yeah, he might beat him in a 50-yard dash. You never know. You could beat him.
I'm not saying, well, you see, the thing about it, you are specifying something here. I'm asking you, are you going to
Yes.
put him to run with a racehorse?
It depends on the race.
I see somebody tried to do that with Owens when he was running, eh?
Yeah, but it depends on the
Because
race.
that was only to humiliate him. And I do believe that if you are going to put somebody to run a racehorse to run with it, that person you're talking about there, you are doing it with the same objective as the one that they use to do Owen. As indeed, if you want to put one of these pan side that you have right now to go and play in a competition against Renegades and them, you're doing the same thing like what they do to Owens. And I do not want that. I love my culture too much to do anything like that. Eventually, keep that word in the back of your head, in the back of your mind, and the back of mine.
But I'm looking at it more from a situation to bring funds into Trinidad and Tobago from steel band tourism, in that a world championship for steel band could generate, right, funds that comes into the coffers of Trinidad and Tobago. And
but people are not going to spend money on the obvious. It has been done already. Pan Trinbago did that, and they remain with a $40 million price tag that they have to pay right this minute, still owing some. So I'm trying to tell you that nobody is going to invest in something where you know the outcome is going to be something that is not profitable.
No.
So the short, just remember what we're talking about, and you use all the right words, especially the one that says eventually.
Now, yeah, someone else says, "Oh, Gypsy, what do you think about a pan tour? A pan tour. What do you think about that?"
Fantastic. It has been done before, and it could be done again. I remember the pan tour in the world with Liberace, and it was successful. Very successful. And that could happen again. The pan could tour. Pan Am North Stars went all everywhere with them. That could happen again. That is something that could happen. A pan tour, yes. As a matter of fact, the pan to some people in the world is still a novelty instrument. And because of that, to us it is not, because we grew up with it, we know it, and we are from this part of the world where that is so. But there are places in the world where the pan is still a novelty instrument. And if you can take the pan and go to different parts of the world and adapt their music to your pan, to your pan instrument, then of course that's a fantastic idea. That's an idea that I don't think has ever been tried in that way that you're talking about, taking it to the world on a tour. But I think that if it is, then that is something that I believe can generate some money, and yes, it will bring some revenue to Trinidad still, because once it is said that it's from there and this is where we are coming from, even though it has it in different countries, but once we know that's where it's coming from, of course it can generate some income.
So go ahead, Tommy.
Now, we are talking about the steel band, and I have a lot of opinion and a lot of views on the marketing of the steel band. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to taking the steel band to the highest pinnacle, we are limited by just saying Panorama is the top of the list. For example, if we were to focus on perfecting steel band recordings and marketing recordings, having documented work to be distributed across the world, we'd create a greater demand for those works and those artists and those bands, that they can go on tour to support some of that recorded material that we are now marketing across the world. And that's why I think Panorama works well up to a certain extent, and it gets to a point where you have to market the steel band by documenting the work properly, perfecting the recording process, and so on, which hasn't been the focus of Pan Trinbago. What's the
Tommy, I would not say that is not the focus of Pan Trinbago. Pan Trinbago's focus is wide, and Pan Trinbago's focus has a far-reaching, but there are things that takes time to be done. All these things that you're saying there, I don't even think that the recording industry is perfected right this minute. and it's been existing for more than 100 years.
But you can market any top artist. For example, when an artist becomes a professional, he doesn't have to compete to exist.
That is what you say.
No,
you feel that.
No,
that is what you're feeling. Well, let me explain something to you.
I'm talking about raw competition. I'm not talking about.
Well, I don't know what kind of competition you're talking about, but I want to say to you that life is a competition, and it matters not how big you become in the entertainment industry. You always will be in a competition.
Except that you won't be in a competition where there are judges on a stage determining.
The bigger you get, right? There are more judges that judging you. As a matter of fact, you may not have judges sitting down on a panel judging you, but the people who come to pay the money to look at you, they are your judges. They are going to judge you, and they are going to decide whether they buy your record. They are going to decide whether they come to see you next time. They are going to decide a whole lot of things when they come to see you there. So in life, you would always be judged. You may not be judged in a conventional sense that you are talking about, but once you get on that stage, you are judged. Your performance is being judged by the people who pay to come and see you.
When you have documented work that's being displayed around the world or being played around the world, it puts you in a different category. Now you are a professional, as opposed to just living for panorama.
I want to tell you something, right? That professionals are being judged even harder than amateurs.
And that's okay. That's quite okay. But at least they are being presented in a professional manner.
Well, so are amateurs. Amateurs they are being presented in a professional manner, just in a different setting. But they are presented in a very, very professional manner. As a matter of fact, they even have to be more professional because they are trying to get to be professionals. And when they get to be professional, they are judged in a different sphere. So life is always, you are always judged in life. It matters not what you do in life, you're being judged.
All I'm simply saying is that Panama cannot be the pinnacle. We have to have a higher.
No, I would not, you may not get an argument from me there, because I am want to say in some time that I believe that Panorama causes some bands to only play one song for maybe a lifetime or for the year or whatever it is. And I agree with you, there should be some expansion, which I think that I am seeing right now. I am seeing that expansion. Like you just talked about, we had Pan for the last month. So earlier in this conversation, one of you alluded to, I think it might have been Wall Street, alluded to the fact that he's hearing more Pan now, and it's sounding like what we're supposed to be sounding like, and I agree with that. So, you know, like I said, things take time to evolve. Things take time to happen. There was a time in Trinidad and Tobago when you had to hide to play the Pan. There was a time in Trinidad and Tobago when the only people who knew about the Pan were within the borders of Trinidad and Tobago. And today, like I said earlier in this conversation, Pan in one form or the other is being heard in many, many places in the world, especially big countries and big cities. From Germany right back, we have Pan, we have Pan side, we have Pan players. I was watching a Chinese Pan side today. I was looking at a Chinese Pan side playing, and I was looking at them playing mass as well. So it means that our carnival and our mass and everything is expanding. It may not be expanding at the rate that some people believe it should be, but it has come a long way from where it used to be, and I think it has a long way to go, but it's getting somewhere. So us just having this conversation, let me tell you, just us having this conversation here this evening shows that our culture, which inculcates Pan and Calypso and Mass and all the other things that we do, is going somewhere. Else we would not even be having this conversation. And this conversation is helping as well.
Yeah, I think these type of conversations need to be had. And I know we're going to talk about the 2024 Carnival and what are some of the things we are going to be seeing for 2024 Carnival. But I just quickly want to go back. And I was just sitting here and I was thinking that, you know, the same World Championship I was talking about, why can it be something virtual? You know, no, it's like a Zoom, you know. For example, what we're doing here, you're in New York, right?
Yeah.
Diana is in Connecticut.
Right.
You know, for me is another place, and I'm in another location, and we're having this vibrant discussion. Why can this be the same format for a World Championship of Steel Band?
Well, For all the reasons that I've explained to you before,
Yeah.
whether it is physical or otherwise, the result is going to be the same thing. The only thing is that the technology might take it into a different dimension. But at the end of the day, I am saying that not that it cannot be
No,
done.
I'm not worrying about the results, I'm just worrying about starting something a little different.
It has been started. It has been started already. We have done it.
Well, continuing something
Okay.
that has been
Well,
started.
like I said,
Yeah.
if Pancho and Bago see virtue in doing that, then they will do it, because things are not only done for just a show. Things are done because of the economics of it. In this world that we live in, it has to be economics, whether you do it virtually or otherwise. In the incurrence of finances and financial constraint, financial expenditures, and all of that would be done. So if it could be done, then these are ideas that I'm sure that they have these ideas already. But if these ideas are put to them in a different way or a different time, then they may look at it differently. But
Yeah,
that's their forte at the end of the day. I said the National Carnival Commission, we are facilitators. We are not the runners of these things. We are not the people who come up with the ideas for them. Basically, it's the other way around. They come up with the ideas for us. This conversation is telling me a lot of things that I might very well in conversation, not in implementation or anything, with Pancho and Bago when I speak to them.
Well,
And
because
hopefully some of it can.
they have representative on the NCC board, right?
Yes, they do.
All right. And you the
At the,
chairman.
at the end of the day, when we look at the steel band movement, the artist who is the player needs to get a raise or a rise or be uplifted from where they are currently. They are not doing as well as they should be doing at this time. And
In terms of what? In terms of what?
Earnings and so on.
And my friend, let me explain something to you. Can I say something to you? Every singer in the world is not doing as well as some other singers. Every guitarist in the world is not doing as good as some other guitarists. Every saxophonist that you have in the world is not doing as good as some other saxophonists. And the world is always going to be like that. You can't say that everybody who plays a pan going to be on the same scale or has the same financial support.
I would never say that, but I
don't think that's what he's saying. I don't think that's what he's saying.
What is he saying?
What he's saying is that when we look at steel pan, especially us in the diaspora, we believe that there could be more being earned by steel band players. We know that everybody's not going to own the same amount. Everybody can be a president. Everybody can be a CEO. Everybody can be president of America. We wonder about that now, if anybody can be president. But that's for another discussion.
Trump might be.
All I'm saying is
make
that
excuses and not come up with solutions.
Right. What he's saying that we believe that we have an invention and we are not maximizing the invention with respect to income to the people who play that invention. That's what we are saying. We are not saying that everybody has to make $1 million. We are just saying that it's underutilized. I put it that way.
Well, somebody has to see about that, and maybe that might be so. But the right people have to do that. I don't know that we can do that, or I don't know how we can do it. We do the best that we can.
We're not saying that you to do that, no, because we know that you, the NCC, and all these different organizations, TUCO, certain other carnival mass bands, the Pancho and Bago, certain people sit on the board of the NCC, right? And of course, they have their own things that they are doing. But we were just thinking about these ideas because we want to see the benefits of these type of things in our country. And we haven't been able to sit on. As a matter of fact, this discussion is great. So what we are going to do, we're going to invite the president of Pancho and Bago, the president of TUCO, the president of the Steel, the Mass Association, and we're going to invite all of them and talk to them. And so you are now the impetus for us, right? So you're a trailblazer, so to speak.
But Gypsy, what I'm
happy
talking,
you think that about me.
Gypsy, what I'm talking about is something that I actually tested myself. Now I formed a children's steel ensemble, and we did one CD. We did one CD called Motown Classics on Steel Pans. Once that CD was done and released, the kids the kids couldn't get any rest at all. They were performing everywhere, and I could literally ask what I want for their performances. I mean, the kids all grew up and went to school and so on and so forth, and that whole era is now over. But basically, I'm telling you that was a test of what I was talking about as far as marketing the steel pan.
So I think that's something that you should continue. It's admirable.
And I think also what Gypsy is saying is that we have to hold a discussion with the president of Pan Trinbago.
Well, we have to hold that with them. I mean, as a matter of fact, you should hold it with all.
I'm talking about we, not you.
I agree with all interested persons, but at the end of the day, they have more say in what they do with the pan than we do.
So okay, let's go to 2024 Carnival.
Oh, sorry, I had a question answer, but my mic is muted.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. Gypsy, when I was a little girl, that was 5 years ago, you know, Carnival, you had Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Now, I grew up in Barbados the first 8 years of my life.
Okay.
My parents are Bajans. I was born in Trinidad. So when I landed in Trinidad, I had a Carnival Monday and Tuesday. I wasn't taught the origins of Carnival, the importance of Carnival, the history of Carnival. All I know is Carnival Monday and Tuesday, people dress up in sailor outfit and this and that's it. Up to now, me personally, and I'm not ashamed to say, but I like to read, but I'll go and peruse looking. I have never come across the actual origins where everyone can agree that Carnival came about because of this. Do you think it should be taught in the schools as part of our culture?
Well, I can answer that to say to you, yes, I think it should be taught in the school. As a matter of fact, we are instituting at the National Carnival Commission something called Carnival Education. But having that aspect of it, yes. But we have so much literatures. The literature on Carnival is exhaustive, actually, basically with the origins of Carnival and its perpetuation and all of that. That's everywhere. Just go to the library and you will get all the things that you want to know.
No.
Anything that you want to know, I guess there's some of it, you could Google it, some of it it's on the internet, but you could go to the library. We have a lot. It's exhaustive literature, really.
But don't you think it should be in the curriculum because it's part of our culture and you need to understand.
My dear lady, I do think it should be in the curriculum, but the antecedents of Carnival, you have to understand first of all. Carnival was a bastardized kind of activity. The pan, the same thing. The calypso, the same thing. Everything that black people created in Trinidad and Tobago and basically now the diaspora was scorned upon. We were taught to scorn our names, our very names we couldn't use properly. We were taught to scorn anything that we did. So the thing about it is that we are now, it took a lot of years for it to be inculcated into us, and it has taken a lot of years for it to be extracted from us. And we are doing the best that we can to do it. We have people now who are descendant of people who hate Carnival and were taught to hate Carnival that are now in administrative positions. And they are taking their hatred for the Carnival and the Calypso and the pan and everything subtly. They are still trying to suppress that. So I am saying to you that we have a battle going on still. Carnival was not always accepted in Trinidad and Tobago. Pan was never always accepted in Trinidad and Tobago. The Calypso was never accepted in Trinidad and Tobago. I think that the acceptance of all these things that I spoke about there came about because of the export of the art, and when we see how good it is working outside of Trinidad and Tobago and how it is embraced by everybody else, now we are starting to be even more conscious about it. So we have to understand all this. The antecedents of these things is what going to direct us, to move away from that kind of thinking and get into the new mode of acceptance for our culture. They never looked at Carnival and Calypso and thing as culture. They looked at it as something to be cursed up. Even right now, when you talk to some of the people, even though I am one, I get on the TV and the radio all the time and say that these religious people and all who teach their congregation that carnival is going to take them to hell and all these things, they contribute to our carnival without even knowing it. Because on carnival day, their contribution is that they take all their people, thousands and thousands of them, they go to the beaches, they go to hotels, they go all over the country to get away from it. And while they're doing that, they're contributing to the economics of carnival in Trinidad and Tobago, because they have to go in the grocery and buy grocery when they're going out wherever they're going. They have to take maxi taxis and cars. When they have their own cars, they have to fill it with gas where they're going, wherever. So they are contributing. So they are making an indirect contribution that they themselves don't even know that they're making, and we are happy for it. But at the same time, their vocalization and the condemnation of our carnival is hurting a product that is bringing monies to themselves. So you have a product and you're bad talking the very product that you're selling. So there's a dichotomy that we have to kind of work around and work with and work between to see how best we can get it.
What I liked recently was when was it with what race was it, Anselm, that we won, and they played the national anthem within steel band.
That was Dream Richards. You won
Yes,
indoor.
I particularly liked that, and I would like to see more of that.
And we had a president just recently who said that when the national anthem is being have any occasion to be played, it should be sung and not played on the steel pan.
Oh, geez.
How do we work with that? So how do we work with that? You understand what I'm saying? I cringed when I heard that, though.
Who said
but
that?
I'm trying to tell you that these are the downside of everything that we're speaking about that we have to deal with.
But we need that stage is good for the steel band to be heard. That's a nice forum.
And I agree with you, but I just told you that we had a president of recent vintage that said that whenever the national anthem has to be played, it should be sung.
Even if it's being sung, it should be accompanied by steel band.
No, yeah, it could be. Yeah.
See, because that has to really take.
Now, I think we should move on to our other topic, because this is going to be very exhaustive.
Let's go.
This is going to go down to somewhere that is going to get me very, very annoyed.
Let's go to Carnival.
No, Brooklyn's Labor Day Carnival has evolved, which we know changes the only constant, as you said earlier.
Yes.
What's your opinion with the evolution thus far? I
think that the evolution is great. I remember when only Trinidad and Tobago used to take part in Labor Day Carnival. I lived here long enough to know that.
Right.
I know when Labor Day used to be in Manhattan, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I am trying to explain to you that it has evolved, and has evolved in a positive way. So I'm happy that evolution is taking place. Now we have people from the whole diaspora involved in Labor Day Carnival, and that's great, because at the end of the day, you are seeing the true makeup of America and the true makeup of our diaspora taking part in something that came from one of the countries in our Caribbean islands. So that is great. And it is out of some place that none of us exist right now. We are not there, but Labor Day is here representing all the Caribbean at the same time. Whereas Trinidad is a country that represents Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, so let's go to Carnival 2024.
Yes.
What is going to be? What can we expect? Give us a little snippet what we can expect.
Well, you can expect a fantastic carnival. You can expect things to be bigger. You can expect it to be better. All things being equal, and we have no COVID or anything untoward to deal with. We are preparing right now. We having our carnival launch on the 24th of September, and we are going to be giving you snippets of what we are having in terms of collage of all the things that we are going to be doing, as it were. So we are going to be having carnival as we know it back to its regular state. I think that since after the COVID, we haven't had carnival how we really wanted to have it. And we have to understand that it takes money to do everything, and we are not in a monetary situation like we were in before, where we can spend more millions to get it right. We have to work with less and do more. But carnival is going to be a spectacle that you are going to be proud of.
No, Gypsy, do you think that things like the Soca Drum sort of split up carnival when you have something at the Hazy Crawford Stadium, for example, and then you have the main place, which is the Queen's Park Savannah, and some people may go to the Soca Dome, they may go on Independence Square and decide that, you know what, I'm not going all the way up to Savannah. Does that cause a sort of division in the carnival?
Well, no, it doesn't cause a sort of division. I think that anything done for the right reason and synergized in the right way is going to be done and redound to the benefit of everybody. If they have and they're doing that with ulterior motive, and the ulterior motive is to split the carnival, which I don't believe it is. I believe that because
it did though.
Well, in some people's eye, it did. But I am saying to you that everything that somebody try, you must try something new. You must try things to see if it works. You have to look at it and see if it's something good or bad. And if it's good, you do it. If it's not good, you don't do it. And if there's any good in it, you extract the good from it and whatever else.
You know,
but I'm saying...
Excuse me. Here's a question from the chat. This person just says, I see the Soca drone as segregation. What do you say?
I don't see it as that at all, because I performed down at the Soca drone, and I can't say that is segregation. A lot of other people perform there. What I can see is that some people with the desire to ease the excuse me. Just excuse me a little bit. So I have a little bug in my throat.
Yeah.
Some people with the desire to ease the congestion. And their business people have come up with an alternative to try to do something that would ease the congestion. Because let us face it, I believe personally, I believe that Port of Spain as a whole has become too small for our carnival. The same roads that we have in Port of Spain that my great-grandparents played on in 1922 with donkey carts and Bedford van and truck. It is the same roads. They are not widened. They are not anything. And the same Savannah that they have to go to, that today, long time when a band had 100 people, that was a big band. That was what was considered a big band. Today, that is not even considered a mini band. But you have the same roads for the band now that has 5,000 people, 3,000 people, and 20 trucks, 20, 14 or 18-wheeler trucks going down the road, and it causes congestion. And until and unless you find alternatives for those things, those congestion will take place. And those congestion acts on the nerves of people who want to be free up and enjoy themselves and do what they have to do in the 2 days that is called carnival. So you would always find people with innovation, and I cannot look at the innovation that people want to have and condemn it in any way. I think we should all look at it and see if it's going to work. And if it's not working that way, try a next way and see how we can get it to work. And once we can do that, I believe that is something that is pretty...
Can they use the priority bus route?
Well, it has a lot of things that they can do, but it has to be engineered in such a way that they can do it. You realize that what happened there now, we have in New York, where Carnival used to be, where it is now, and how it is done now. They give us the parkway, they lengthen the route that we had on the parkway, because they have that space to facilitate that. In Trinidad, we don't. We have to now try to see how we can use and utilize what we have in the best way until we can find alternatives, which will take a lot of finance to do.
Now let's anything else you want to add with respect to 2024 Carnival that you want to give us a little snippet or something, a little something, I mean?
Well, I don't know what other snippet I can give you other than to tell you that we are planning it, and the planning is far advanced, and we are doing all the things that we do for Carnival. We have not yet started. Last year we put back up the North Stand because people clamored for it. So that's already in place. It's going to be there again this year. We had before that, we had the pods like she said it was pigsty. That's what you said it was?
Pig pen.
Pig pen. So yeah. we had that when the occasion called for us to have that. We didn't have that this year. It's highly unlikely that we'll have it next year. even though some people ask us to put up a few of those things still because they want exclusive, you know, they want to be exclusive in whatever they're doing. But we didn't have it. So I don't know the planning that we are going ahead with now, if we have sufficient requests and it can make sufficient money to know, we might just decide that we'll put up a couple of them to facilitate those type of, you know, thinking. But just to say that I don't know how much I can explain to you about what we are going to be doing, because what we are going to be doing is making sure that everything and the people that are going to come to Carnival and the people that are there in Trinidad and Tobago from there are as comfortable as possible, as safe as possible. We are working on the safety of Carnival along with the protective services of Trinidad and Tobago to ensure that nothing untoward takes place on Carnival and pre-Carnival and even post-Carnival.
Why do we hear from many people that they think that, you know, Calypso is dying a slow death, or Calypso? I think Chalk does sing a song about, you know, Calypso in the General Hospital or something.
Well, let me explain something to you. Since I am a child, right? I am hearing that the world is coming to an end.
Okay.
And I'm sure that my great grandparents have heard that same thing. So what I answer you in that way to say to you that not because somebody says something that means that is so.
Well, we see less Calypso tents though. We don't see as much Calypso tents as we've seen previously.
No, the scarcity of Calypso tent doesn't mean that Calypso is dying.
I'm not saying that it's dying, but we can say that.
What it might mean is that the tents have become less profitable for people to invest in it, because tent is an investment. And like I said, everything evolves. There was a time in Trinidad and Tobago when all that happened around Carnival time was the Calypso tents. And you might have a dance here and there in PSA or somewhere down by the Red Cross. You might have that. Nowadays, you're having fete every single night during Carnival with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 people, 15 bands, all kind of things. Calypsonians inside of there performing. You have 10, 15 Calypsonians in those party performing. So
you mean soca singers, not Calypsonian? You mean soca singers, not Calypsonian? Soca singers, not Calypsonian.
Listen, I don't know your. I do not know your definition of soca singers and Calypsonian, but soca singers.
A different one. Let me be honest.
I am saying to you, I am saying to you that I don't know about your difference. You might see a difference in it. I see no difference. So
let me ask a question.
They are Calypsonians of the day.
You think a Calypsonian go sing and stink and dirty fete?
You see, the thing about it again, it depends on your interpretation of a Calypsonian. Listen, you think that a thief... Wait, can I ask you something? Can I ask you a question?
Yes. Answer already, yes.
Do you know what is a Ford? Do you know what is a Ford T motor car?
Fix or repair daily. Fix or repair daily.
No.
The T model, Model T.
A Ford T model. You know what is a Ford T model motor car?
No,
of course.
I don't
All
know.
right. Well, there was a car called a Ford. Is a what? Say it again. T model.
Model T.
A Ford Model T car. It's one of the first cars that Ford ever created, right? Now, if you look at that today, right? Let's take for instance a Ford Mustang. Would you call it a Ford or would you call it something else?
Mustang, yeah, I know that one.
No, I said, but would you call that a
Mustang,
Ford?
A Mustang.
The T model car that Ford made is a car. A Ford car. Would you call that a Ford car? And would you call a Mustang a Ford car? Or would you find a next name for a Ford car?
Ford evolution. It evolved.
So the thing about it is that that's what Calypso is doing. It has evolved. And over the years, Calypso keep evolving. The Calypso that Roaring Lion sang is not the same kind of Calypso that Sparrow sang. The Calypso that I sing is not the same kind of Calypso that maybe Superior sing. And the Calypso that Marshall Montano is doing now, is not the same thing that I did. And that Bungie and all these guys are doing is not the same thing that I did. But then it is nonetheless Calypso. You could call it whatever you want, because it has been called, Calypso have been called all kind of things over the years. Calypsonians have been called Shantwell, and they've been called all kinds of names, but it doesn't mean that they are not Calypsonians.
Gypsy, I would like to see a rebirth, if it doesn't exist, an area where you can, the vintage songs, And if you choose to jump, in a vintage band, and you pick up, it has already been played and heard, and you have a category where, a vintage song, let's say short shirt, a tourist Lego. And if his song is selected so many times, then he wins, the vintage, whatever. It does that exist? And do you think there
Yes,
is profitable to do that?
fortunately enough for it exists.
Mm.
That exists. We do have that. We do have vintage calypso. We have in Trinidad and Tobago, we have vintage calypso tents.
Okay.
Still. But are they patronized the way that they would have, or the way that they would have when they were new? The short answer to it is no. And I say to you, everything is supply and demand, and everything is finances. These things are not.
What about marketing? Because I didn't know it existed.
Well, there are so many things that you wouldn't know exist.
Oh, hey!
And that's
hey!
life. No, that's life. Everything that exists, we all wouldn't know about it. There are lots of things. There are so much things, and sometimes it exists in front of you, and you don't even know about it until somebody points it out and say, "Oh my God, that is so and so," and then you realize that is so. So those things would always happen. But yes, the short answer to it is it does exist.
Well, next time in Trinidad, I want to find a vintage tent, and I want to jump in a vintage band with old time calypso.
All right. I hope you are in the majority that want that, because if it's you alone,
disillusioning me. Come on, Gypsy.
If it is you alone who want that, everything is supply and demand.
I might bring a storm of people,
I don't want to join. I don't want to jump in no vintage band.
You don't want to jump in no vintage band because you don't want people to know your age.
You hear what Wall Street say? So
yeah, me jumping in no vintage band like
that. I would want to chip behind a band playing Sugar Boom Boom. I would dance to Sugar Boom Boom. I would dance to Tourist Lego. I would,
The strangest thing about it is that on Carnival Day, all those things are played on the road.
Well, I want to find a band that playing them.
Well, you will, because they do have it. It exists.
Good.
And you can jump.
So because some of these calypso jump and wave. If I jump too many times, I go hurt myself.
Well, that's
dear, at our age, if we keep jumping anytime, we might hurt ourselves.
I got hurt myself, so I ain't trying to jump and wave and misbehave.
I want to get something on wave, not me. I want to get
something. You want to whine on a bumper.
And you could do that.
That's what you want to do.
I want to whine on a bumper.
Yeah.
But guess what? With the old arthritis and thing in my waist, my mind.
I ain't jumping away. I go wave my flag, but I ain't promising I gonna jump.
But
Gypsy, I want to say that this has been a vibrant discussion, and these are the type of discussions need to be had like on the radio in Trinidad and Tobago, and not just during a season, but during the off season to talk about these type of things.
And I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. And these are things that we lobbied for. These are things that we want to do. These are things that we have aspirations to do. But at the end of the day, sometimes aspirations die a hard death because the avenue to do it is not there.
Yeah. But and let me say that let me send a little shout out to my friend Darian Marcel.
Oh yeah, Darian is here. He's here somewhere.
Yeah, Darian Marcel, and also what's his name? Who set it up as well? Let me send a slim out to him as well for setting this all up. Kyle. Yes,
Kyle is here. Kyle is here with me. Kyle is listening to you and me and every word that we say attentively.
And Gypsy, where's my friend Dawad Phillip?
Dawad is in New York here. He's Dawad is somewhere. I spoke to Dawad earlier today or yesterday. He is. I have to call him a little later tonight. He's somewhere in Brooklyn here, but he's here.
Alrighty.
Yeah. No, before you go, right?
Yeah.
Someone said this is a statement in the chat, and I want you to respond to this, Mr. Peters. But let's be honest. Bigger carnival is bigger money for the pockets of the friends and family. What do you say?
I don't know what they're talking about. For who friend and family? To their friends and family? Bigger carnival is more money to whom? I don't understand that question.
Well, all right. I just read it. All right.
Well, right. So maybe that person know that the family is get more money when it have bigger carnival. So then.
But so you are still. Let's just quickly about yourself. You still going to be competing in calypso contests and
I will compete in anything as long as the judges select me. And I can say to you that the judges have not selected me for sometimes. Sometimes they select me. Over the years, over the 60 odd years that I'm doing this, I have been selected many times. And I have not been selected many times, including since I am NCC's chairman. So I would continue doing what I do because I'm allowed to have my job. I'm allowed to have another job doing what I am doing here. And if the law allow me to do it, then why shouldn't I do it? And I have the ability to do it. I will do it for as long as I can do it. When I can't do it anymore physically, then I'm not going to do it. But as long as I have the desire, because you know sometimes desires fade. So if I don't have the desire to compete anymore, then I wouldn't. But as long as I can, I will. And as long as I could be on a stage and I'm allowed to be and I'm hired to be on a stage, as indeed I am all now, I'll be on a stage.
So have you written
since I'm 4 years old, you know.
So have you written your 2 songs as yet?
Why should I written 2 songs? Why you limit my writing to me right now?
Your 2 songs for Carnival. I ain't say.
No, but why would you see? This is what I'm saying. You're pigeonholing Carnival. Why do you? Yes, I've written many songs. I have many songs. Whichever 2 of them I choose to sing for Carnival, I will. But do not pigeonhole me or any other Calypsonian by saying if you've written your 2 songs for Carnival. You see, you're thinking archaic. You think Carnival, people write songs now. We write songs. We sing all through the year, and you sing all over the world. You're not restricted to Carnival, so you have to write songs now for the world. Do you know that my song? Now listen. Do you know that my song that I wrote for Trinidad and Tobago played a part in your election, in your last election here, that helped elect Biden? You know that?
No, I don't.
Are you aware of Wall Street? You're supposed to know everything. How you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know that I rewrote that song for Buster Poindexter and he sang it on Biden's? That was one of Biden's theme songs. The ship is sinking against Donald Trump. Go on YouTube and pull it up, and you're going to see. So we don't write songs just for Carnival. 2 songs for Carnival. We write songs and we sing them for Carnival.
But didn't
Whatever
you say
happened to them?
that too? I write the songs that make people dance. I
wrote that too. Yes, I wrote a song with those lyrics. Yes.
Well, yeah, you see. So I know.
And ironically, that song is called "Respect the Calypsonian."
I wrote a poem, "The Current State of Affairs," but yes. I can't sing. So I want to know if you could turn it into extempo, put some lyrics to it. You know,
you can't extempo.
Melody.
The word extempo means extemporaneous. It's just short, and it means spontaneity. It means spontaneous. So
I'll send it to you.
No, I don't sing people's songs. So there are people who sing people's songs, and I could give you a few names. So you could send it to them. I've never sang anybody's song.
No, I tell you to sing it. I just wanted, to critique it.
You see, the song that you write, I want to hear about it tonight, but I want to tell you, and you must agree, you don't have to send it to me. You send it to me wrong, because I don't sing people's song. But what I'm saying to you, I could give you somebody to send it to.
Oh, Lord.
So you see why I don't have to
write?
So listen.
I don't care what you say. I still gonna send it to you today.
I think that this interview is a lot of fun.
Listen, I gotta tell you, this was tremendous. It was a lot of fun.
I appreciate it.
Anything else that you may want to add with respect to your visit here to Labor Day and
yes,
and
we are going to be in the back of the museum. From tomorrow we'll be there. We'll be there until Labor Day, and on Labor Day we will be on the Parkway with our contingent, with an expose of our traditional mask from Trinidad and Tobago, the real mask, the mask that actually started our carnival before it evolved into what it is today. And these traditions and these traditional characters are still with us, of course portrayed by different people over the years, but we are here with it, and we are here to show New York and the world by extension, because everything that goes on here, people look at it. So what we are all about, and what our Trinidad and Tobago Carnival is all about. And when I say Trinidad and Tobago is the mother of all carnival, I mean that mother in the sense of giving birth to so many carnivals around the world. Amen. And around cities and states of big countries.
Correct.
So Trinidad and Tobago, let them see what our carnival, what it is, the tradition from our motherland, is all about. The mother of all carnival.
I used to jump with Borokita and Hawks.
You see, that's great. That's great. Me too.
My concern about attending events as these days is, the violence.
Well, the
I'm
thing about it
I'm
is
just
that
concerned.
the thing about it is that we as masqueraders have no control over those things, but we do have law enforcement, and I do know that you have very good law enforcement here, and your enforcement have a lot of intelligence, and they know things even before it happened. So I think that we'll have a safe carnival, and people are becoming more conscious of the goodness of these things and not to disrupt it. So I pray that we will have good weather in the first instance. I pray that we'll have good people in the second instance. And I pray that we'll have no violence and stuff in the third. I pray that we'll have a wonderful time for Labor Day because I'll be out there.
So just before you go, right, we
Yes.
have a person in the chat named Mean Gene. He said, ask Gypsy if he remembers when Wilcock Morris and I brought him to DC for DC Carnival.
Tell him I remember that like if it happened yesterday. God rest Wilcock's soul. He was a dear friend of mine. Will was my friend, a very intelligent young man, a very astute person, a person who cared about our culture, and a person who we worked together, for a long time. And tell him, yes, I remember that like it was yesterday. We had a wonderful time in DC when the police come and try to stop us and try to give us a hard time. And I stood up for the police. I stood up to them. So he will remember all of that as well. So we had a wonderful time.
Right. So somebody asked a question. Tobago is having a carnival this year, right?
Most definitively, Tobago Carnival is going to be in October. Okay. And we are asking you to come down to Tobago's Carnival. Tobago's Carnival is going to start our carnival, is the start and finish of carnival. We are going to start it and Tobago is going to finish it. Just after Miami Carnival is finished, come down to Tobago because, North America is going to be getting cold. And you don't want to stay here and freeze when
last question before you go. Someone said, is carnival in modern days more for tourists or locals?
Carnival is for both. It's for tourists and local. Locals put on the carnival, locals enjoy themselves, and we encourage the tourists to come as our guests and have a wonderful time like they can have no other place. Come on down.
So, Mr. Chairman, Winston Gypsy Peters, we appreciate you giving us the time. And all I will say to you is that do not be a stranger to WZYE 95.9 FM because we like to have people from Trinidad engage the diaspora. And we think this discussion was a fantabulous, splendiferous discussion for us here in the diaspora to see you in person and hear you in person.
And I appreciate it. And that would be done as long as the invitation come my way. And I'm available. I will try to make myself available as many times as I can to do it as many times as you want me to. So I want to thank all three of you there and your listeners. And please keep our culture at the forefront of everything that we do. Remember, there's no place as great as your place. God bless you, man.
Thank you so much. Blessings to you too.
Good night.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Take care.
I'm still sending you my extempo. And don't let me and you come wrong. You better find a melody for my song.
Aye. I hope it's very long. And I hope the lyrics are strong.
All right. Later.
Have a good time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, God.
So there you have it, folks.
Yes, indeed.
A vibrant discussion there. That's the kind of discussion we like to have. We don't always want to talk politics all the time. These kind of discussions are very important to us here in the diaspora because we need to, interact with these guys. I mean, we got a whole long, how you say it, a dialogue with respect to carnival, and some of the things that we think could help with, carnival tourism then.
And marketing our culture.
Marketing our culture.
And the key word is marketing. They have to realize that marketing has to take precedence and excuses aren't gonna work and gonna do it all at this time. Because when you really think about it, you can market pet rocks and sell them.
Yeah, but Tommy, the thing about it too is that NCC is one organization, Pan Trinbago,
next.
The Carnival Band Association, and there's one other group in that What's the other group? It's Pan, Calypso, the Carnival, National Carnival Band Association. And there is a fourth.
One moment.
Well, Tuco, Pan Trinbago, the National Carnival Band Association. And who else? Pan Trinbago, Tuco, National Carnival Band Association. And I think there's a fourth. I don't think there's a fourth one. There used to be a fourth one, but I think National Carnival Band Association.
Trinbago, National Carnival Band Association, Tuco.
That's it. Because it's Band, Pan, and Calypso.
And Mass.
Well, National Carnival Band Association. Yeah. So
Calypso, Pan.
Yeah. And Mass. Yeah. I don't think we're missing anything. There used to be two band association. And I think they kind of morphed into one. And now they are known the National Carnival Band Association. Yeah, I think so, you know. Unless we're missing one. Let me see. Yeah. Hold on, send another text. Yeah, I think what we have to do when we continue to have these type of discussions and bring these people to the diaspora so they understand the importance that they mean to us here in the diaspora, because very rarely we get to talk to these individuals, you know what I mean? And you know, think about it, right? You know, there's not much people in Trinidad talking about this right now until maybe next year around, maybe the month before Carnival, maybe January. They start to, you know, want to talk to Winston Gypsy Peters about Carnival and the NCC and so on and so forth. Look what we do it. We're doing it in September.
You know, another thing too, people like Gypsy have to come up with ways to incentivize the stations, not just one or two stations doing local cultural music, but many more, so many more of them, because there are so many stations. So many of them can get involved in the local music and local culture. But it has to be incentivized. There has to be some reward or something of sort.
And Tommy, I agree with you, but I think what happens is that sometimes they more look at it from a local perspective rather than a global perspective, you know, involving, you know, radio stations outside of Trinidad and Tobago, you know, and to reach that diaspora for people to say, like, you know, listen, you know, we having Carnival in Trinidad. And as you said, the marketing.
Yep.
You know, but he says things could always get better, you know what I mean? He's the eternal up. Things could always get better, you know. From being a person from his stratosphere, you could see how he thinks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's been around. He's experienced. He's been in the first world for a long time.
Just how to get a delivery, guys. One moment.
Let's go for a quick station identification. Send the village to the DAT Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay. We'll be right back after this short message.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Oh, yes. Somebody help. Come and put a hand. Come Come and wipe away the blight and see what the plight that befall the man of this land. What's going on here? I would like to know why the whole world is in a turmoil. So it look as if we fire God from the job and give the work to the Beelzebub. Man, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. You don't have to never like understand that the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. You don't never like understand like if Satan in control of running the land. Hey man, oh man. There's only wars and rumors of wars. Incurable disease go from sea to seas and they happen without a cause. Strange phenomena now happen everywhere. The callousness of this world have the world in fear. Politics and weaponry have taken its toll. They have the whole world out of control. Man, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. It don't happen here well I can understand like it. Oh yes man, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The thing open on here well I can understand like it. Satan in control of running the land. Oh man. To get at ease, we turn to religion. But then in a quest to do our best, we end up in real confusion. Some religious leaders so phony and vain, all our religious morals to go down the drain. Their materialism make them feel them is Lord, robbing the world in the name of God. Man, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The thing going on here, well I can understand that the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The things that happen here, well I can understand. Like you see that in control of running the land. Oh man. Let's take control. Let's reconstruct the world. Sweep out all parasites, phonies and blights. What is wrong? Let us make it right. Stop this social, moral and religious decay. Our world wasn't meant to be this way. For heaven's sake, let's not fall for deceit. Put God back in the driver's seat. Man, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The thing going on here, well I can understand. The devil have a hand in running the land. Man, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The thing what's going on here, man, I can understand. Like if Satan in control of running the land. Oh man. Oh man. The devil have a hand. The devil have a hand. Oh yes. In running the land. The devil have a hand. The devil have a hand. The thing what happen here I can understand. Like the Satan in control of running the land. We quarrel and we fight. We are doing right. Oh yes. The devil have a hand in running the land. We forget what's good. Not doing the things we should. Ah yes man. The Satan in control of running the land. I can't understand why. I can't understand. Oh yes man. Corrupt preachers, phony preachers, bogus leaders, Satan workers. Oh yes man. I can't understand. Well I can't understand. Satan in control of running the land. Place of worship.
carnival look.
That is the one and only Gypsy, boy. The devil of a hand and running the land. So what? So what's going on? What happened today? Independence Day. All right, so let me play this. Hold on. Let me play this. Hold on. Today was our 61st anniversary.
Birthday as a nation.
Many rivers flow to this naked eye, bringing care and pain, but also a brand new style. As the river flows, there are those who will change its passage, but every common man got to understand up and send a message. And people put up your hand if you understand. Now come, see how we moving, watch how we grooving, see how we step in style. One lovely nation under a groove. The Ganges don't need the Nile, 'cause the people got the power and the glory. See how we float in style. One lovely nation heading to salvation. The Ganges don't need the Nile.
God, you like.
Islands in the sun, islands in the fun. Welcome, welcome one and all to the land of death. Trini to the bone, Bego to the bone. When it comes to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trini to the bone, Bego to the bone. Sweet woman parade abundantly. The brethren, they full of energy. Some people say God is a trinity. Paradise and not convincingly. God gave us a spirit fiery. But nothing in the world to bother we. But look, a smart man gone with money. We still come out and smash up the party. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love up the country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No.
You know, Aslam.
Yeah.
For years, I've been saying that most of the vocalists in Trinidad should be performing with steel pan accompaniment, and that would be giving big respect to the national instrument.
I think that's an excellent idea. I think that will enhance.
I was trying to go there with Gypsy, but I realized I couldn't take him there.
I think that will enhance the pan as quite a bit. You know, like for example, if Marshall Montano going on a tour, Marshall Montano take a steel band,
a small ensemble, because you don't need no massive band. You just need probably one of each.
You know, it's expense too, eh? You know, at the end of the day, everything is finance.
What I hope to do and aspire to do, and there's a girl named Sister D. You know her? She plays in Boston a lot, up and down that coast there. What I aspire to do is some of my spoken word pieces have a steel band behind me. Somebody
a small ensemble or quartet or something. You know?
Yeah, if not a whole quartet, just one person, and we find the right tone that matches my tone and the speed of how I speak and stuff. Me and her wanted to do something, but the pandemic came and put that to a halt. But I'm gonna reignite it again.
Because what has to happen is that the focus has to be what size band is marketable, and what should we focus on when it comes to like recordings and doing our best recordings so that we can display the works internationally. And once that focus comes into play and we get it right, we're unstoppable with the steel band.
But you know, Tommy and Diana, I still feel that a World Steel Band Championships would enhance steel band more than anything else.
You see, when you say championship, you're talking about competition. But I simply would say is that World Steel Band Festival.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But I
Yeah,
don't-
so there's because there's a pressure,
Mhm.
there's an inherent pressure that comes into play when you're talking about panorama and championship and competing.
well, but the
But
only
what,
reason why
but when you have a festival, you have camaraderie. I'm saying that as a musician because I've been playing music since I was 12 years old, and I played with a lot of bands. I did, you know, recordings and so on and so forth. And I realized that musician to musician, there's a lot of camaraderie and that takes place. But when it becomes a competitive mode, then you have to put on your battle armor, which puts you in a different mode, a different frame of mind. You get me?
oh
Mhm.
no, I hear you. And I think you have more expertise than me on that. So I you know, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm going to the Olympics, I'm staying in my lane.
Mhm.
You know, and that's why I have a problem with the fact that everything with steel band is competition. Why can't it
Mhm.
be camaraderie? Why can't it be display?
See,
Because
because after the competition, then what?
exactly, because when you become a professional, look, amateur night and amateur is competitive. But once you become professional, everybody go and they perform and they display their goods because they've already been recognized for what they do.
Mhm.
And I wanted to get Gypsy to that point, but he just stuck in that vein where you have to compete, you have to compete. Yes, you have to compete, but who are the judges? John Public. When John Public is a judge, it's a different kettle of fish than when you have um, Judge Henry James and Judge Susie, whatever, whoever, and have so many points and this and that, and that's just a different kettle of fish.
Dana,
Mhm.
what are you sending Eugene to drink? Please continue to send it.
What?
Whatever you're sending Eugene to drink, please continue to send it. This is the
I don't
second
send
time
Eugene nothing to drink, not me.
you don't send him. All right, okay, my bad. I take it back. I apologize. I apologize. Mean Gene says, Gypsy, what a splendiferous interview tonight. This is the second time in a row that Eugene has complimented us. Eugene, we appreciate your. And Eugene is a tough critic, eh? I tell
Mm.
you. So,
Yeah, yeah. Whatever, Eugene. Stay tough.
no, no, he's a tough critic, and so he giving us big props. Eugene, we appreciate that. Thank you very kindly.
Hey guys, I'm just sharing. Look what I'm reading. It's my read when I go there. Remember these magazines?
Yeah,
National
National
Geographic.
Geographic. Yeah,
I found a stash of them at a secondhand store, about 12 of them. And I said, wow, look, back in the day, you get one of these, it was like gold, like, and I picked it up and said, ooh, I still feel like gold. So I'm reading them, each one cover to cover and looking at the photos and stuff.
at one point in time, if I remember clearly, on one of those National Geographic, there was a picture of Dr. Ed Williams, and he stated, if
Yeah?
Trinidad, if Trinidad and Tobagonians was to dedicate themselves, or maybe there was a study that was said, maybe no, maybe it's not Dr. Ed Williams, maybe it was a study.
Mm,
If Trinidad and Tobagonians was to dedicate themselves to employment, the way they
mm,
dedicate themselves to carnival, or dedicate themselves to business,
mm-hmm,
them dedicate themselves to carnival, it will be one of the most successful countries in the world.
mm.
Because we dedicate ourselves to carnival, and I mean I like carnival
And
myself.
the creativeness of Carnival, the originality,
It's
is also required in the business discipline.
yeah, we are a whole different breed. We are a different breed. But you see, the thing is, we don't know what we have good enough. We don't know what we have. And
Yep.
and I wanted to take Gypsy to task because eventually, as we know, everything happens. Everything is gonna change. Eventually, I think other countries are gonna surpass us with respect to playing the steel pan.
You see, we have to start thinking outside the box.
Correct. We are just stagnant. We are kind of
We
stagnant.
that the panorama culture has actually hurt the steel pan after a certain. It helped and it hurt at the same time because
No, but I think it helped more than hurt though.
it helped to develop the art form and so on and so forth, and the standard. But then when now you have gotten to that pinnacle or to that stage, what next?
Next level, right? That's the thing. But you see, Tommy, what is important is that with an organization like Pan Trinbago, this is my experience previously. I'm not saying now. The thing they would say to you, you ever play pan? Eh? You ever I mean, joking. You ever beat a pan?
What does that have to do with marketing?
Me beat no pan. I never beat no pan. Well, oh, you go tell a pan man about pan. I said, well, me trying to tell you about pan. I try to
Because
tell
it's
you about
shallow. And I've heard that argument before, and I know it's very shallow. The fact that they're not seeing the big picture and not knowing that it's 95% business and 5% music.
But that's the kind of attitude we have faced.
It's called music business, but it's 5% music and 95% business.
Right. Ban Maha says, but have you ever tried doing business as an African man in TT?
Oh yeah. Listen.
I have never, so I can't say.
I can tell you that I have, and I can write.
So you can venture. You can basically say what Ban Maha is saying. Ban Maha is saying. Now I know this one though. I know this one. Have you ever dealt with the banks? I know that. I know that. I know. Have you ever dealt with the banks? I know that for a fact. And listener, I talk about economic development, economic empowerment, economic inclusion, and access to capital for Black people and Black businesses in Trinidad and Tobago. And you know something, Tommy? Ban Meha, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. You're kind of, you know, we wasn't really talking politics, you know, but there is something about slavery and the types of slave they left off in Trinidad, and we have discussed this previously, and we see that type of behaviors on a daily basis with most of the people that support the PNM and most of the people that look like us. And listen, you have a right to support whichever party you want to know. But I believe the only way you can make your party better is by keeping them on their P's and Q's, and don't go along to get along. Don't go along to get along. Go along to get along.
But you know,
Wall Street,
right.
You and I will not be alive to see another country outplay steel bands from TNT. Mean Jean, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. For example, look at the example, right? The MVP in basketball for the last 5 years in the NBA has been foreigners. Think about that.
You know, but all I have to say is this: it's not outplay. It's who can benefit and have the best livelihood and standard of living from that instrument. Now tell me who from Trinidad does better than somebody like Andy Narell, quote unquote. Tell me who.
Andy Narell is the foreigner.
The point I'm making, he's strictly steel band.
Okay, there we go, Mean Gene. There you go.
And he earns probably the best living from the steel band, and there are many others that we don't even know about who earn quite handsome living and standard of living due to the steel band.
Yeah. Anybody know what Hailey's saying there? Read that on the screen there.
What do you think? Let me pull it up.
Leader Philip Alexander and Slim, and you have some kind of.
What have you ever?
I don't know what you're saying. Yeah. All right. I understand now. Yeah. Okay.
What's he saying?
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's right. He's correct. Sometimes I just take I had to think a little harder. I had to dig deep down inside my inner brain. You understand? You had to go deep down inside my skull. Right?
Well, you're gonna have to share that information with us because I don't.
A person had said something about Philip Alexander, and I was supposed to play the video. Let me see if I find it. And that is what Hailey talking about. Hailey, thanks for reminding us. But anyway, before we do that, all right, let me see if I find out for Hailey.
Caribbean Soul say he has run down cougars. Lord.
Is run down what?
Caribbean Soul say I just run down cougars. You know how fast them is, and I just catch them.
Cougars?
He say he just catch them by the bank when they go in for pension.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, what I do with that, boy?
Shame on you, Caribbean Soul.
All right, Hailey, I'll go look for that. Let me see what I do with that one.
But were you guys gonna talk about the happy independence? Eh?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. Okay, Tommy, you sent something. It's great today that Trinidadians making more money than the average American. That was excellent.
Yes.
You sent that. Let me play that while I look for this other thing for Hailey. Oh, let me play this one first. Let me play this one about Watson Duke.
Watson
Duke.
Watson do now?
All right, let me let the lady tell the story because I don't want to say, they will say, next thing they will say, my transformational leader, I'm bashing my transformational leader. That's what it'll be telling me. So listen to this.
Everybody, I come here this morning to address a situation. I find my voice isn't being heard, so now I'm going to put it in the public for it to be heard. I done play nice girl. August the 14th, I work as a polling agent for PDP, Mr. Watson Duke. I was told I'm being paid $600 for the day. You understand? I left my house minutes to 4. His driver come and pick me up. I did not eat nothing until 10 in the morning. When I called Mr. Watson Duke, well, the area leader, Mr. Safras Ali, and let him know what's going on, he then sent somebody to bring something for me to eat. These people.
So it was cussing after that. So I also cut it off there. So it's alleged that the girl work and she didn't get paid. So I know what's going on with your people.
Happy independence.
Maybe my happy independence.
Happy independence. You know what? I looked up the word independence, right? And as a noun, which I feel it is used in that instance, it says the state or quality of being independent, freedom from dependence, exemption from reliance on or control by others, self-subsistence or maintenance, direction of one's own affairs without interference, and the state of having sufficient means for a comfortable livelihood. Happy independence.
Nah, but I don't think we're looking at independence from that perspective. I think we're looking at independence from getting independent from the British.
Yeah, you get independence. You get independence from the Queen's shirt tail. But your citizens are no longer the subjects of whoever from Milan and them, right? A long time. But you're independent. You should have a comfortable livelihood because you're not independent. You're living in a burgess.
No, well,
that is dependent. Let me finish my statement. You're living in a burgess that is dependent on funds from the central government that is oppressing you. How are you independent? What is so happy to be independent? You're still not independent. You're not. Yeah, your Lego one skirt tail, but you had to hang on to somebody's shirt tail now. How are you independent?
The
Well, you may
country, they talk
disagree.
about individuals don't get independence, country gets independence. This is not about individual country. It's about
What
the country.
individual don't get independence, country get independence? Anslan, don't let me come down the studio there. What do you mean individual get independence and the country gets independence, individual don't get independence?
Yeah.
And explain it to me now.
What do you mean explain it to you? It's very
Explain
simple.
it to me.
On August the 31st, 1962, Trinidad became independent from the British. They got their independence from the British and they could run their own affairs. That's what
Okay.
independence is about.
All right.
Independence
So
is not about individuals getting independence. The country get independence, and from the country getting independence, you then benefit from you should benefit from the country getting independence.
So
That's how
here's my question to you. There are still some places in the world that are, what is a little bit term? Commonwealth of the monarchy up there, right? Am I right or wrong, Tommy?
Yeah, but Commonwealth could be independent and part of the Commonwealth still.
All right. There's still some countries that England still have their hands in them and they didn't get them independence, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. How are these countries faring?
I guess they're fair now, right?
I don't talk. That's what I wanted to know. Because if you have independence, right, the object of independence is for your citizens. You should be able, independence to me, I might be wrong. You fare well. You have a job, livelihood, right? That is what I think. To me, that's what independence is. And true independence and freedom can only exist in doing what's right. True independence and freedom can only exist in doing what's right. Are they doing what's right in Trinidad and Tobago for the subjects, for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? Are they doing what's right for them? Then why do we have 26% of them living below the poverty level? Why we still since 1960? Why we still since 1960 can't get water to these households in certain areas? Why? And you're independent, huh? Like people how to go back to having latrines because you don't need water to flush. Happy independence. You ain't had no water in your pipe. Huh? Your neighbor house burning down the other day, and the fire truck, I don't know when the fire truck take long to come, no water in the area. So of course they can't out the fire. Right? Happy independence. You have your children book list to fill. You have to figure out what money to use. Am I gonna put off the rent? Am I gonna put off decide pay for buy my children book list, or am I gonna buy food with the same limited resources? Happy independence.
I think you mixing it up though. You totally
no, I'm mixing it up. Right. Independence means you should be able to sustain and have a nice livelihood. Yeah.
No, independence.
How are the citizens how is Trinidad faring that got independence from the mother country? Let's
talk what independence is. Independence refers to a state or condition of being free from outside control, influence, or the authority of others. It often signifies a nation or entity's ability to govern itself without the subject to rule or dominance of another country or external power. Independence can involve various aspects, including political, economic, and cultural autonomy, and is typically associated with the establishment of self-government and sovereignty. When a nation achieves independence, it gains the right to make its own decision, establish its own laws, determine its own destiny without interference from external entities. That is what I felt independence meant.
So why is Dr. Rowley and them demonizing the THA? The THA, Tobago and get independence too. Tobago and get independence too. So why? If they're independent, why is it that they're subject to all the stuff going on from the PNM?
You are mixing it up.
I'm not mixing up nothing, Anselm. No. I'm responding to what you just said without interference. Why is Tobago being demonized?
Diana, independent is Trinidad and Tobago as one unit from England.
I don't. I hip hip hooray. But
No, you mixing
if
it
you're
up. No, you mixing it up. You are totally mixing it up. The
if you are
demonization of
independent,
the
you should be
rainbow.
able to sustain yourself and your subjects and live people's livelihood should be better than it was when the queen had a umbilical hem a skirt tail to us. Why is it? Why is it if we are independent? Why is it that we have citizens living in these conditions? Happy independence?
So
Then I
Diana,
want to go back and be a
America
queen
got
subject
independence
that
in
I could get
1770.
water in my house.
Listen to this. America got independence in 1776, right?
Right.
What about America too? Let's just
What do you
do
mean?
the
What do you mean? What about America?
the same thing. They have people living in poverty too.
Fine, but they have social network system that assist those people,
So
and they
America don't have
and they
people
can
living in
go
poverty.
to and they get the help. Why is it in well, I don't know that. Why is it in Trinidad and Tobago people still reaching out to us in the diaspora for help? And you see the mamagisms that they went and reshuffled the cabinet. Who is they really trying to fool?
No, Diana, they did not reshuffle the cabinet.
But when they shift, didn't they change people, give people different portfolios, or was that a mamagism thing?
That was fake news. That was fake news.
That was fake. Okay, but thank you for clarifying. 'Cause I didn't share it. I said I'm supposed to ask you. Good, but thank you. So it ain't mamagism then, because I was wondering.
But no, but you was under the impression.
Yeah,
that
I
it's
was like, yeah, I have to ask you. I wanted to ask you off air, so that was my opportunity. It trotted me in my head to ask you. Right?
Independence is totally different.
Anselm, independence, independence mean independence. You should be able to take care of yourselves, your people, your citizens, and they shouldn't be suffering like that. They should have good livelihoods. Independence says so.
You can be independent and mismanage your affairs.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
So
And you're independent, but you still depend.
Independent and independence is two different things.
Independence. Look it up. Independence means remember, I am the author and the poet. You might be the professor. Independence as a noun, the state of having sufficient means for a comfortable livelihood. Happy independence. How am I happy? And I don't have sufficient means for a comfortable livelihood. I don't have it in Trinidad. I don't have it. 26% of them living under the poverty line. Come on, Anselm. How are we independent?
Who you think put that into the atmosphere? 26%.
Huh?
I'm the one that put that out into the atmosphere.
You're good. So
I'm the one that
why is it so? Why is it so? And while we're at it, I understand, and you all could correct me if I'm wrong, the opposition had built X amount of schools. But because the incumbent didn't build them, they wouldn't operate them. I had the poor children traversing, going further to go to school. What is that? That makes any sense? You spend taxpayer dollars to build the schools for the people trying to go to school. But because you get in power, we ain't using them. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. And poor little Tommy had to go from Marabella. Tell me where you had to go from, Tommy? A long distance. You know me, I know the distance. Poor Diana had to go from St. Augustine all the way to Tranquility because you don't want me to go to school close by because the opposition built the school. That don't make any sense. How are you independent? How are you happy independence? And I had to figure out, I fill in my book list, I would pay the back rent, or I had to buy food with the same money, the limited resources. How am I in there? What is so happy about what is so happy about independence for me? Come on. But you know me. And another thing, I'm very passionate. I ain't angry, guys. When I get angry, you all will know. You should not be proud of being a Trinbagonian on Independence Day only. This pride should be with you and exhibited always. Always. Not just on Independence Day. Always. Every one of us who have been born there. Always. And I'll tell you guys something. When I am called upon to speak across the globe, I mentioned you always hear my speech. I was born in Tunapuna, Paje, and I go on to give a description of my birthland. Right? I market Trinidad and Tobago. I'm proud to be a Trinbagonian by birth, but by descent, I'm a Bajan. So, go back to the independence thing. You can't have a happy independence. How can I celebrate? I'm independent. Let me go back and be a queen subject. She go send some money for me, and I could get some handout to buy my term booklets. Nobody saying nothing will happen.
Well, you make a point, baby. We're listening.
A little chilly, but my air condition blasting. You understand? Happy independence? Man, son, come on. Them people up in where you had they had them drinking canal water. They still drinking canal water?
I don't know.
They've taken it to make champagne now.
And there are people who I see somebody put something in my feed. They have no water for they. I'm like, no water. Happy independence. You got no water. They have no water. Basic necessity.
Hey, what did you say when you get lime? You make lime juice.
So they ain't no water. What they supposed to use for water? Tommy.
So Hailey wants to know who I'm saying happy independence.
Thank you.
All Trinbagonians who believe that they are independent.
Exactly.
The delusional ones.
On August the 31st, 1962, we gained our independence from our colonial masters. And that is what independence is. And I just spoke to them.
You traded one colonial master for the next one.
Okay.
That's what I say. Okay.
You traded one colonial master for the next one.
Alrighty.
Okay.
For a homegrown one, right?
What?
For a foreign colonial master for a homegrown colonial master?
Yeah, you traded one for the next. That's all that went on.
So listen. All right. So I guess we have a different opinion on independence.
That's it. Different opinion. Because I don't know how I could be happy today. And I had to sit down and bust my head. Oh God, how I fill in them books. Oh good shit. I had to call I had a duck from the landlord. And I in the I had no food.
Independence Day. Nobody telling you had to celebrate Independence Day. If you're not happy today, you don't have to celebrate Independence Day. If you're not happy, you don't have to celebrate it. If you have a birthday and you don't want to celebrate your birthday, you don't have to celebrate your birthday. If Thanksgiving, you don't want to celebrate Thanksgiving, you have to celebrate Thanksgiving. People say Happy Thanksgiving. You have to celebrate Happy Thanksgiving.
But independence should bring harmony between the communities forever.
Yeah. And so
everybody should be, there should be harmony, not the ones that, they're red and they're ready and they're proud and what about your neighbor 4 streets over? You don't care about them? You don't care about them? Okay, and be independent.
At the end of the day, you cannot care about everybody, You cannot care about everybody. You may want to, but you cannot care about everybody.
And
some people care about themselves too.
And that is what we have leading us all over the world. People that don't care about us.
Some people
don't care about the poor people. Don't care about the women suffering and the children. Because, like you said, you don't have to care about everybody. So when the good citizens don't vote, we get people in charge that don't care about us.
Because you cannot care about everybody. That's why.
What the heck? Yeah, you can't care about everybody, and that is exactly what happened. And that's what I say. When the good citizens do not vote, You end up with people that don't care about you.
Okay. All
So
right. So let's
not going to the polls and voting, not voting, this is where you end up with people that don't care about you. You need to go and exercise your right, your power. And I'm appealing to the women. Go and vote in the next general election and fix your country. The women can do it. Fix your but make them work for you. Yeah, you have people that don't care. They don't care your right hand slam. They don't care.
All right. So let me play this video for Hailey. This is a gentleman talking about Philip
I
Alexander.
actually didn't really want to say what I'm about to say today, but because I would have taken in a live last evening with the political leader, of the PEP, it basically triggered that emotions with me to actually come here and sit and speak about it. And I want to start off by first premising everything I'm about to say along this particular line. Right? The political leader of the PEP does not look like us. And what I mean by that is that he does not look like an Afro Trinidadian, nor does he look like an Hindu Trinidadian. And these two groups are the largest groups in Trinidad and Tobago, closely followed by a group that is a mixture of both Afro and Hindu Trinidadians. And then you have all those other small subgroups that comes after. He also has to understand he looks more like the group that we like to perceive to be the 1% within our country. And listen, people, this is not one of those easy sort of pieces where we're going to nitpick it in a way for it to look fancy for just one side. We're going to be very real along the lines here, right? It may make a few uncomfortable, but here's what, such is life. And because now the political leader of the PEP resembling more or possessing the optics of a 1%, he has to understand when he sets out to basically ridicule, disrespect, and slander Hindu and Afro Trinidadian leaders, he must understand that's going to chase a lot of people away. There is no way you can sit there and believe that you can come out and be that disrespectful to Afro and Hindu Trinidadians, especially their political leaders.
What says you?
I say it goes up and down the board.
Yeah, I think it goes up and down the board.
Yeah, up and down the board, because I'm turned off by Kamala and her slave master statement. I am turned off by Dr. Rowley referencing somebody head full of lice. You know, I'm turned off. And look at me. I'm a Afro-Trin Begonian. Right? I'm turned off by the two of them. I'm turned off by the two of them.
Let's continue.
Anyone listening to you in the manner of how you act, immediately it will invoke some sort of political discomfort. Because here you are, not looking like them and being very nasty and malicious towards people who look like them. There is no possible way you can trigger any sort of emotional reaction to get people to come out and support you, whether to rally around you or to vote for you. As much as you might believe that you are the solution, the political solution for the country, not in a manner of how you speak to them, it will not pan out. Because when the likes of me sit back and we listen to you, there's some strong, heavy racial undertones.
Now he's accurate there. Because Philip Alexander called Keejan Haynes a reporter working for either one of the TV stations, I think, some names and it was unbecoming of him. And what he did, as a matter of fact, let me get the article here, so I don't just talk off the top of my head. Let me get the article. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get it, so I don't talk off the top of my head. So here it is. Let me read it for you guys. It says, hold on. Just a minute. So here it is. Hold up, it's coming up. Okay, so it says, this is June 2020. Journalist Keegan Haynes have consented to having his complaint of racial hatred against Progressive Empowerment political leader Philip Edward Alexander go before a tribunal of the Equal Opportunity Commission. All right, let me see if I get the article now. Race case for tribunal. In a letter dated July the 18th, Haynes agreed to have the Equal Opportunity Commission initiate proceedings on his behalf before the tribunal. On July 2nd, 2018, a complaint was lodged with the commission by Haynes through attorney Dr. Emir Krung, which alleged that Alexander had engaged in and done an act that amongst the offensive behavior towards him via a Facebook page, in the way it has publicly offended and insulted, humiliated, or intimidated him with intentions of inciting racial hatreds against him. In the post in question on June 24, 2018, Alexander described Haynes as a, quote, half-pint house Negro bent over backwards to sell your brothers and sisters for a piece of silver and a pat on the head for Sabga. The post was ended with the phrase, "Dong boy, dong, sit." I read no more. Let me read on. In Alexander's response to the EOC published in an EOC report on February 18, 2020, he admitted to writing the post, and he added that he did so in response to attacks by the PEP. When asked by the EOC to respond to what was meant by the term half-pint house Negro, Alexander said the term was used in a colloquial manner, and at the time of making a comment, he was oblivious as to Haynes' race, which is a outright lie. On Friday, Haynes told Newsday that he's looking forward to have his day before the tribunal. He said a date for the hearing will now have to be given. I wait to see what happens. He noted it has been 2 years since the ensuing accident. The issue is as relevant as ever given talks of race in the country. All right. And it went on to say that Haynes had previously interviewed Alexander, and it was highly unlikely that Philip didn't know of his race. You know, so that was it. I just wanted to get the article so I could put it in some context, right? Let me go back to continue listening to this.
In your rantings and your offerings to the people, that will make anybody uncomfortable. And like I would have said before, I'm being a bit repetitive. It does not invoke in anybody that motivation to come out to support you. You cannot do it that way. The other thing is that I'm a bit surprised that the majority of people who would represent you within your hierarchy structure, who resemble us all and not you, would actually sit by and not say anything to you. Because I know and others know that they are uncomfortable with the things that you say or the things that you have said about people who look like them. There is no way you will get to boost your numbers with that kind of ideology, with that sort of behavior at the end of the day. This is what it is. I don't know why they won't come out and tell you like it is. The same way how you like to come out and tell it like it is, they should have been able by now to sit you down to let you know you do more harm than good for the political party. And if you have the same notion as Watson Duke, who was the head of PDP in Tobago and lost it, I need you to understand the political party may have been founded by you, but you are not the owner of the political party again. It is the people's political party. You need to understand that. And I've been watching your turnover within your party. It's very interesting. Some may have been for good reasons, but the majority might be because they can no longer stomach the things that you say about people who look like them. Right? So me watching you last evening boil down like Baji reminds me of a pot and a flame. And the thing is, the people or the electorate is the flame, the pot is your membership, and the contents, of course, is you, which is the Baji and other things in it. And instead of you believing that you're fanning the flame to motivate to vote for you, you didn't understand you were fanning the flames to deflate you, like how you're now boiled down like Baji and have a totally different demeanor at the end of the exercise. These are things that you need to know, you know, and this is not designed for me to score points on you. This is designed for you to understand. A lot of people are not willing to come forward and tell you there is no possible way with the manner and your behavior towards other people, especially the larger race or ethnic groups in the country. It's not going to work. The next main thing is that your whole campaign lacked substance. It was not well thought out. It did not look strategic in nature. I looked at the horrible exercise that would have went on, and I'm calling it an exercise, not even a campaign, in the borough of Point Fortin. I would have looked at quite a number of individuals who ran their campaigns within the Diego Martin localities. And you have to understand it had no focus. And that simply means that everything is really done and coordinated by you. It did not represent the people at all at the end of the day. They were clueless and they did not have direction. These are things that you have to understand very early if you're really to be taken seriously by the electorate come 2025. It was just too shallow for people like me. It was shallow and it just lacked focus. It was all over the place. It made absolutely no sense. And your numbers showed it, because you have to understand, even by your rantings and how you settle to ridicule people, I'm being very repetitive here, but there's a reason for it, because you two, just like the two traditional political parties, were not able to trigger those political emotions to bring the people out in masses to vote. So you didn't even contribute towards boosting the amount of people that came out to vote. And that should tell you a lot at the end of the day. In your live last evening, I'm seeing you downgrading the party to more or less helping people as against looking to fortify your political structure to get ready for 2025. These are the kind of things that you have to start to pay attention to. And I'm saying for all those who support you and who are part of your political party, they need to come forward now and sit you down and tell you how the script needs to be rewritten.
So there you have it, folks. The guy hit the nail right on the proverbial head. And as I've been saying previously, highly, I've been saying it over and over.
That sounds like Mr. Speaker.
Sound like who, Mr. Speaker? Who's that?
Huh?
What does he call himself?
Mr. Speaker of the House.
I think that's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's him. Yeah. And I think the guy is, if Philip Alexander is a person who can take constructive criticism, he will listen to that guy and say that guy is 100% accurate. And he will learn from it. But then again, many of us feel like we know it all.
But ain't only he alone do it, like I told you, Ansel. Dr. Rowley get on a thing, and what's his name? Stuart Young call all the pot hung and all kind of thing. So it seems to be, it's a disease, the pandemic.
But there's always one set of people who receiving the blows, though.
Yeah, and Dr. Rowley get on there and refer to somebody full of lice, and I'm like, well, how did we disintegrate to that?
Yeah, I mean,
sickening, man, all of them. And Kamala remind me, I have a slave master name. I mean, they're not taking their post seriously. They're not.
Yeah. Kylie say Ansem is a joker, and so is that fella.
Oh Lord.
Kylie. And Mean Gene said that guy is absolutely correct. So highly Mean Gene, Victoria, welcome. Again, Victoria says he's right. We are not talking about UNC or PNM leader. We are talking about about Alexander, and she said he's right. So far, Hailey, you're out on an island by yourself. You're sitting on the riverbank all by yourself. So Hailey, Mean Gene, Victoria, Ben, Ban Meha, Captain Singh, Lions Love, welcome. Lions Love says
welcome back.
We serve for groups of people only not African, full 100. Mean Gene, Victoria, Nadia, Caribbean Soul if you're still there, Darren Red if you're still there, Rudvin Elder if you're still there, Darren Red, Victoria, I said Victoria, Albert Montano if you're still there, Nadia if you're still there. Put closing comments in the chat. We're going to go for a quick station identification. Judy, if you're still there as well, stick and stay. We'll be right back after this short message. It's In the Village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE LP 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Back with you. It's In the Village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come there every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. So, folks, I have breaking news for you all. Tommy and Diana, you all didn't hear this, but you're going to hear it for the first time. I received it. Did I receive it today, man? Or yesterday? But I didn't listen to it.
Just come with it now and stop baiting people.
We have Wayne Haid, the watchman, responded to Gary Griffith. So somehow somebody sent Wayne Haid the interview with Gary Griffith, and Wayne Haid responded to Gary Griffith. So, and you know we do it here. We're going to play Wayne Haid's response, and then we're going to call Gary again.
On the next show.
On the next show. Right? So, Wayne Haid responded to Gary Griffith. And next show, we're going to play the audio tape of what Wayne Haid had to say. And as you know, we do it here. We always give both sides of the coin. If you know, we don't play. We don't like to do it one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so somehow somebody sent him the tape, and he listened to it and he responded to it, and then he sent me the audio tape. Hailey says Trinidadians, Trinidadians have one set of pride, eh? But go home and have to go outside to use the toilet. Entirely. Answer my don't give 2 cents about Trinidadian and their concern. PNM is the best thing for them. You think I losing sleep if Pep will not lose? You're serious? I don't think you're losing sleep, Eiley. I really don't think so. I don't think you're losing sleep whether Pep wins or lose. I don't think. I mean, a lot of people don't lose sleep. Some people lose sleep if their party win or lose.
I don't lose none.
I don't lose no sleep either.
I don't lose none. Oh, here we go. This light again. It's not sitting properly in the.
Well, I want to say thank you again to Mean Gene for telling us that we did a great job today. Mean Gene, thank you so much. We continue to try to do the best we can. So I'm gonna give my closing comments. And next time, Diana, we have to call your friend.
Who's that?
Watson Duke.
Watson Duke is my friend.
You know your friend?
Watson Duke get my friend now?
All right, I take it back. So let me say this, right? The World Championship that was just finished. For a gold medal, the winner got $70,000. For a silver medal, you got $35,000. For a bronze medal, you get $22,000. For fourth place, you get $16,000. For fifth place, you get $11,000. For sixth place, you get $7,000. For seventh place, you get $6,000. And for eighth place, you get $5,000. Making a final can be very lucrative. Let's go to the relays. On the relays, first place was $80,000. That ain't making sense though. How could a relay be more than an individual gold medal?
Because you're dividing it up into 4.
No. That ain't making sense.
They have to divide it in 4.
What? It's $80,000. It's more than an individual. An individual is much harder than a relay medal.
Well, it's a team effort, so they give it higher, divide it in 4. But go ahead.
Even second for silver in a relay is $40,000. This don't make sense. Or they don't have. They missed out third place. That's why.
So when you divide, what was the second place?
40,000.
When you divide 4 into 40, what each individual get?
No, it's 6 of them. Sometimes it's 6 of them.
No.
The fourth place is 16,000.
I thought they were giving to the 4 that actually ran.
No. The substitutes get the same thing too as well.
Oh, okay.
The fifth place is 1,000. The sixth place is 8,000. Seventh is 6,000. And eighth is 4,000. So think about it. If you come in last, you still get money. That's not a bad deal. Yeah. And I forget it. We're going to talk about this next time. They want to ban drones in Trinidad and Tobago. Shipping it. Not just ban it, but they want to put a custom excise tax on it for you to come into the country. That's evil.
Well, let me tell you something. They late. Because I gave somebody, a young lad in Tobago, a drone as a gift.
Well, when you sent it recently?
No.
Long time?
2 years before the pandemic.
Okay, all right. No, they don't have. But any drone coming into Trinidad now, they're gonna have a tax on it. And
they want to ban it. You said ban it or tax it?
They'll tax it and they can seize it as well.
What's the? Oh, Father God.
So here's my closing quote. Whenever you find yourself doubting how far you can go, just remember how far you have come. Remember everything you have faced, all the battles you have won, and all the fears you have overcome. From where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall. So that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent. When talent does not work hard, and for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. See you. Same WZYE time, same WZYE channel. Later. Go ahead, Diana.
Yeah, I'm gonna be brief. Just saying, what do you want in Trinidad and Tobago? Do you want a politician or do you want a statesman? A politician thinks of the next election. A statesperson thinks of the next generation. So think about it. Diana Benskin or Wiedersehen. Good night, beloved folks.
Thank you. Go ahead, Tommy. Yo, Tommy, your mic is mute.
Sorry. I'm saying my first quote is from Eckhart Tolle, spiritual guru who wrote the book, The Power of Now. He says, whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Like I always say, the change you desire starts with you, the man in the mirror. However, if you look in that mirror and you don't like what you see, do not blame the mirror. Do not look down on a person unless you're giving them a hand up. Like I always say, love you all. Be safe. See you next session. Till then, be careful.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you.
Good night.
So Mean Gene says, closing comment, life is not a stage. Stop acting, be yourself. Heidi says, earth is hell, so reincarnation is not a blessing because you probably come back as a tapeworm. Come back as a tapeworm, cockroach like Gigi, or potong like Stuart Young. Be good and receive God's blessings and love. Thank you, Heidi. Okay, I think that's it. We're gonna go tonight with let me see.
Portrait of Trinidad.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna go with. All right, let me look for that. That's what we're gonna go with, Toby. Thank you so much. Portrait. Here we go. The Mighty Sniper.
If you want to take full control.
Portrait of Trinidad. So, folks, see you again on Saturday, and we're going to go out with the Mighty Sniper, Portrait of Trinidad. Let's see if it's open. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Trinidad is my land, and of it I am proud and glad. But I can't understand why some people are talk it bad. But I know all of them we running them out. Don't know where they're talking about. They would paint their black every day, and the right things they would never say. Like our sportsmen being rated among the best. Power colors of ships and cast every test, and put us right alongside the rest. But then our flag is the greatest one of its kind. Our sugar and oil is ready refined. So you see, friends, this is a real thing, some woman's mind. They just talk some nonsense. Me ain't know where they're doing it for. About so much violence, and you would swear that we fighting war. Of course, we have the delinquents to face, but just like any other place, look, the things that I say about here is really too much for me to bear, because my people are daily making progress without any form of stupidness, and in this way we must gain success. For when we move in, we all move as one body, no bickering between you and me. For our policy stands for racial equality. Now when a stranger spending a little time in this lovely isle, every day you see him, we always have a hearty smile. And when his time is up to depart, he would say with pride in heart, I'll be back, you could bet your life. And if I can't come, I will send my wife. And then he'll tell you, he really wants her to come, to drink some rum and have plenty fun in this great island in the sun. For Trinidadian, as foreigners to recall, it doesn't matter whether big or small, or if you're rich or poor, we cater for one and all. So all of them we're talking, they either drunk or they steering mad, or maybe they forgetting Mr. Universe belongs to Trinidad. And yet we have men of talent and skill, with high hopes of improving still. And if you think all this is a lie, the mighty sniper won't tell you why. No, our steel band is the best talent in this world. Like Calypso, those stories are told, with this rhythm to touch your soul. So Trinidad, this lovely land of my book, small but overwhelming in wood. And as you know, Carnival is the greatest frolic on earth.